Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis on a beautiful, warm Tuesday evening. Although this may be the only time I will get a chance to say that the rest of the week in the homestand, as the temperatures will be cooling off considerably in the next few days. A high 80s day today, giving way to the beautiful cool of the evening on a glorious day here in the Mid-Valley. The Knights return home after an odd series in terms of the scheduling. 4 games at home against Springfield, but the most recent game at Hamlin Sports Complex, the Knights prevailed and come in at 17-3. Cowlitz comes in at 8-9. Just 7 games remain in the first half of the 2024 West Coast League baseball schedule. It's the Knights and the Cowlitz Black Bears in a rematch of an exciting playoff series from last year in the first round, when the Knights, en route to their 7th consecutive West Coast League title, lost the opener on a walk-off home run in Longview at Story Field, then came back to win the next 2 before going on to claim their 7th straight championship. It's the Knights and Cowlitz on this pleasant Tuesday evening. Coming up next, a conversation with James DeCramer, an incoming freshman at Oregon State who pitched very well at Springfield last week. The young man out of Scottsdale, who redshirted this past year, appeared on the mound for the first time in 17 months last week down in Springfield, and he certainly looked the part. Great stuff, a good outing. James DeCramer, my guest. You'll get a chance to see him again on Thursday right here against the Cowlitz Black Bears. Let's hear from young James next on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, our pregame show continues. It was a real delight, thrill, whatever word you want to use, to watch my next guest work on the mound for the first time in a long time in a live game. James DeCramer III, Brophy Prep, Scottsdale, Arizona, has been committed to the Beavers for about 4 years now. And finally, we got to see him, not as a Beaver, but as a Knight. But he's got a nice Beaver glove here I'm looking at. James, it's great to meet you officially. Welcome to Beaver Nation. You haven't pitched for the Beavs yet, but that's coming. What was it like for you to get on the bump after almost 17 months and pitch at Springfield?
It was a relief, to be honest. It was really nice to go out there and throw. I had a great time. The game was nice and slow. I like throwing in front of Rich. I like throwing with these guys. It's just really nice to come to Goss and play every day, even though I wasn't on the roster or anything. Coming back into it was nice.
Glad to have you back, James. Tell me a little bit about the first, we'll get to some specifics about your outing against Springfield, but the Beavers and how you came together with Oregon State baseball. When did that sort of come into your life?
I watched them win in 2018, and then COVID happened, and I started to work primarily on baseball and really focused on it. And then I started talking to Rich Dorman, and he was the coolest guy I'd talk to, really. And he was like super nice, and I could tell that he would be a perfect pitching coach for me. He's really bullish on the mental side of the game, which I think would be really good for me personally. And pretty much everything that I've done here, everything that's the coaches have asked me to do has been really productive, really constructive. I couldn't have asked for a better place to play.
James DeCramer, my guest. James, you said when COVID happened, you really began to focus on baseball. Were you a multi-sport guy to a certain extent and thinking about maybe going a different route before COVID?
Yeah, I was primarily football before COVID. And then...
Did you feel like that might have been a path to a D1 scholarship?
Maybe. I'm only 6 foot.
What did you play?
I was quarterback.
Okay. At Brophy Prep?
Yeah.
Good program, good school. But baseball then streamlined. You streamline and start focusing on baseball. The stuff that I saw, mid-90s, nasty slider, good changeup, struck out guys swinging and looking with your change. That all looked good. Did you feel good about the command you had against Springfield?
I felt really comfortable throwing all my pitches. Again, initially, I didn't get ahead with my hitters, but I felt like I was able to throw any pitch at any time. And I felt comfortable with both sides of the plate. Felt comfortable with hitters in the box, which is super important. I'm just happy to see where it goes.
You threw 23 pitches. Do you feel like you're going to ramp up to as the summer goes along? I don't know how much work you're going to get, but that was just kind of a foretaste of what's ahead.
So every week I will be increasing my pitch count by 20.
Okay.
This initial outing was just 2 innings or 30 pitches. I got to 2 innings before I got to 30 pitches, but my next outing will be 45 pitches, and then it'll keep going from there until I get to 95 pitches.
Look forward to seeing that as the summer unfolds. Last couple of things with James DeCramer. James, are you willing to share with us a little bit about why you were out for 17 months, the things you've had to go through to kind of get back on the bump again?
So, 4 starts into my high school career, I fractured my spine.
Ow.
I was lifting pretty hard, and then I would go to the park right after a lift and throw. And it kind of just...
There's too much strain on it?
Maybe? Too much strain on my back, I guess. And then tried to get back for the draft. Wasn't able to. Came here, tried to get ready for the season. Fractured my spine again. And then I went home during Thanksgiving, got my surgery. And then a month later, I was walking with no pain. I started running with no pain. And now I don't even think about it. I just, it's great.
You mentioned the mental side of things. To go through something like that, I mean, was there ever any times of sort of doubt, like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to pitch again? I mean, did you have to go through some things like that to get back to this point? And how tough was that?
Yeah, I was pretty scared I wasn't going to walk again.
Let alone pitch.
Yeah, I was worried I wasn't going to walk like past 30. Yeah, but after the surgery, no worries. I'm like, it's a relatively new procedure. Doesn't limit mobility, doesn't limit any of that stuff. It's great. I'm happy.
You look good and you feel good. You feel like you're not even thinking about it anymore. You feel great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's refreshing. Yeah.
That's a lot to go through, James. We're glad that you've made it through that. We look forward to watching you the rest of the summer and then right back here with the Beavers next spring. Thanks, James. Great to meet you. Great.
Nice to meet you. Thank you, man.
That's James DeCramer III, my guest. More coming up on the night's pregame. Thank you, James. Thank you. Good job. Thank you. You too. It is great to be with you tonight at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for Game 1 on this night that honors the memory of our late general manager, Jennifer Beaumont, with the Knights, who passed away 1 year ago today after an incredibly fierce and courageous battle with cancer. Tonight, many of the proceeds for the game, and in fact, a check for $2,000 was just presented to Project Her from the Corvallis Clinic in honor of the memory of Jen Beaumont, a wonderful soul whom we lost 1 year ago today. And we saw her name and beautiful countenance emblazoned on the scoreboard out in right field. Colleen Woods had designed, and Colleen is in her fourth season as the hospitality manager, a role that Jen Beaumont once filled. She filled virtually every role here, but Colleen had a beautiful picnic table made in Jen Beaumont's honor with Jennifer's name inscribed and courage and all the words that she lived by in her love of life and her love of the Corvallis Knights. And that picnic table on display as fans make their way into Goss Stadium at Coleman Field and will become a permanent fixture down in Casey Corner after tonight. Our thanks and our hearts indeed grateful to Jennifer Beaumont as we get underway tonight in the first of a 4-game series, the Corvallis Knights and Cowlitz Black Bears. Leading off for Cowlitz, Dylan Schlegel in center field. He goes to work against Tyner Horn, and the first pitch produces a chopper wide of third. Ferragamo ranges to his left and throws across the diamond, and we're underway. 1 pitch, 1 out, a good start for Tyner Horn, retiring Dylan Schlegel, the center fielder, on the game's first pitch. Keaton Grady will be the hitter for Cowlitz. The Black Bears coming in at 8-9 in South Division West Coast League play. Cowlitz 7.5 back of the Knights, who were 3.5 up on the Pickles. Strike 1 pitch is in there for a strike. 0-2 the count to Keaton Grady. So the Knights closing in on the end of the first half and earning themselves a bye in the first round. Not a bye, but a home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs by clinching the first half. A changeup from Horn lifted to shallow center. Going out is the shortstop Blake Wilson to secure the fly. 2 down, and Sergio Gicello will be the hitter for Cowlitz. Dylan Schlegel, by the way, starting the series at 3:53, the first of a 4-game series. As I mentioned, note that tomorrow's a doubleheader. Our first game is at 5. The second game will start some 30 minutes after the completion of Game 1. Both games are 7-inning affairs. Schlegel flying out, or grounding out to open the game. Keaton Grady popping out, and now Sergio Gicello, the batter. And the first pitch to Sergio misses outside, ball 1. Sergio at 212 with 5 runs batted in. Tyner Horn back to the plate. The 1-0 fastball fouled away. 1-1 the count. Shea Bowen, the cleanup hitter, on deck in right field. Andy Allenson batting 5th at first base. Jonathan Mendez hitting 6th at short. Jaron Navarez batting 7th, the designated hitter. Cody Estes hitting 8th and left. J.J. Cannett batting 9th, and catching Nate Moquin, the starting pitcher. Fastball missing in the count, 2-1 to Sergio Gicello with 2 outs and nobody on for the Cowlitz Black Bears in the top of the first. Changeup from Tyner is in there for a strike, and that evens the count at 2-2. Tyner Horn and Tyler Howard, the Knights battery. Quinn Dufort at first, Peyton Miller at second, Blake Wilson at short, Thomas Ferragamo at third. The 2-2 pitch, a fastball, a chopper to the first baseman, Dufort, who could have taken it himself, but gets the assist as he shovels it to Tyner Horn covering to retire the side. And jogging in from out of the outfield alignment for the Knights tonight, Kevin Takeuchi from left field, Brandon Cabrera from center, Kaysen Consarinia in right. A good start for Tyner Horn. He retires the Black Bears in order. We go to the bottom of the first with big right-hander Nate Moquin striding out slowly to the bump. We'll give you the Knights lineup and see how Nate fares when we return. After half an inning, Cowlitz nothing, the Knights coming up on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bring me up. Bottom of the first inning, Brandon Cabrera leading things off for the Knights against Nate Moquin. The first pitch to Brandon, the Knights starting center fielder, missing down and away. No score, bottom of the first. The 1-0 pitch, fast one backs Cabrera off. 2 balls and no strikes to Brandon, starting the series at 342 with 12 runs batted in. 2 balls and no strikes from Nate Moquin, who delivers the 2-0 pitch for a strike. Cabrera leading off in center, Blake Wilson in the 2-hole at short, Kevin Takeuchi batting third and left, Luke Lavin the cleanup hitter and designated hitter, Kaysen Consarinia batting fifth and right. 2-1 breaking ball is in there for a strike, and the count 2-2. Thomas Ferraggiaro hitting sixth at third base, Quinn Dufort batting seventh at first base, Tyler Howard hitting eighth, and catching Peyton Miller batting ninth at second base. The 2-2 pitch is lifted to right field and playable for Shea Bowen. Shea pulls it in, 1 away in the bottom of the first. And Blake Wilson, the pride of the University of Washington, will be the hitter. For the Cowlitz Black Bears, under longtime major leaguer Kelly Stinnett, the head coach. This is the defensive alignment for the Black Bears, a battery of Nate Moquin and J.J. Kinnett. The first pitch on the way is a one hopper and by the right side of the second baseman, Keaton Grady, into right field. Base hit. Good piece of hitting by Blake Wilson. Taking the pitch on the outer third through the 4-hole. He's aboard with a 1-out single, and Kevin Takeuchi will be the hitter. Nate Moquin and J.J. Kinnett, actually, when looking back, Jack Connolly, the voice of the Arroyo, and he said Seiko, and I grew up pronouncing it Seco Saints last year in the California League. He said Seiko. I'll have to look it up to get clarification. But Jack Connolly says it's Kinnett, so my apologies to the Kinnett family. It is, according to Jack, J.J. Kinnett back of the plate. Kevin Takeuchi takes the first pitch just outside for ball one. A 1-out single for Blake Wilson, held on by Andy Allenson. The 1-0 pitch coming to Kevin Takeuchi instead of throw to first, driving Blake back to the bag. Andy Allenson at first, and yes, the son of Andy Allenson, former Major League catcher. A lot of Major League ties with Stinnett, with Estes, with Allenson on this Cowlitz roster. Takeuchi takes a strike. The count 1-1. No, no score. Bottom of the first. Blake Wilson getting the base hit, starting the ball game at 3:23. Blake is 3 for 4 in stolen bases. Out of the stretch works Moquin. And there goes Wilson. The pitch is a strike. The throw to second is not in time. Good head-first slide by Blake to get his 4th stolen base of the season. And with that steal, another contribution of $30 made by Papay Material Handling and the Corvallis Knights to our friends at Community Outreach, Inc., helping people lead productive and healthy lives through various challenges in our community. Community Outreach, Inc. just got another $30 thanks to Blake Wilson's thievery. Blake at second. Takeuchi swings and hits one toward the alley in right center field. Schlegel moving over to make the catch. Tagging Blake Wilson moves up 90 feet to third. 2 down, and Luke Lavin will be the hitter. So the Knights with an opportunity to get out early with Luke Lavin looking for a 2-out base hit. Luke stepping in at 190 with a couple of runs batted in. No score in the bottom of the first inning. The right-hander getting the start for Cowlitz, Nate Moquin. And had originally committed to Nebraska. Now, he's a hometown kid. He's from Omaha and Millard South High School. Ended up going across the river to Iowa Western. Now will cross the river again and come back and play for Omaha University. He delivers low to Luke Lavin for ball 1, 1-0. No score in the bottom of the first. Cabrera at third and 2 down. Moquin out of the stretch and comes to the plate. Fastball hit foul. Waldo away above the Jack Riley concourse, well out of play. And that evens the count to Luke at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Moquin kind of crisscrossing the river, coming out of Millard in Omaha. Went across the river to Iowa Western, coming back now to play for Omaha University. The right-hander comes set, delivers, and misses with the breaking ball in the turf. Ball 2, 2-1. And he used a line of great ingenuity and beauty that covers a lot of territory that eventually angered Michelle Pfeiffer in Dangerous Liaisons when she said to Malkovich, "Stop saying that," because Malkovich kept saying, "due to circumstances beyond my control." Which is almost everything in life, right? The 2-1 pitch to Luke Lavin is high, ball 3, 3-1. He kept telling Michelle, "You need to say, due to circumstances beyond my control." But he was quoted on his social media site as saying something about the commitment to Nebraska. It ended due to circumstances beyond his control. And again, that's good for almost anything that happens to all of us in our existence. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 down, no score. Bottom of the first, Lavin takes a strike, and the count 3-2. Brandon Cabrera, or Blake Wilson, pardon me, at third. A 1-out single, stole second, went to third on the fly ball, and now Lavin trying to bring him home with a count of 3-2. Blake getting his lead from third, Moquin from the stretch. The 3-2 pitch sails on him, high and away for ball 4. And Kaysen Consarinia will have an opportunity. Runners at first and third, and 1 out. This is the first of a 4-game series. The Knights game on June 2nd in Longview at Story Field was rained out. It will be made up tomorrow as part of 2 7-inning games. And that's not on your pocket schedule or your magnetic schedule. It's an adjustment in the schedule. 5 o'clock for Game 1, 30 minutes after the completion of Game 1, the nightcap of the doubleheader tomorrow. Consarinia takes a slider for a strike from Moquin. No balls and 1 strike. No score in the bottom of the first. The Knights trying to change that against Nate Moquin. Making his 4th start. He's pitched well. 13 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts, an ERA of just over 2. The right-hander back to the plate. Rolled slowly foul up along third. Off of the front foot of Kaysen Consarinia, who is now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes, hitting .281 with a couple of runs batted in. Brooke Knight coaching at third, the former Aloha Knight, playing his summers in 91, 92, and 94 for Dan Siegel and the Knights. Less fanfare, fewer crowds, not the beautiful surroundings of this ballpark at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field and the amazing explosive growth of the West Coast League through the years. Brooke coaching at third, Ed Nags at first. First and third, 2 down, no score. A ground ball to the 6-hole. A diving attempt by Mendez off his glove into shallow left field. Base hit. Blake Wilson scores. An RBI single for Kaysen Consarinia, and the Knights lead it 1-0. Thomas Ferraggiaro will come to the plate. So it is Moquin and J.J. Kennett, the battery, on this beautiful Tuesday evening in the Mid-Valley. Andy Allenson at first, Keaton Grady at second, Jonathan Mendez at short, Sergio DiCello at third, Cody Estes in left, Dylan Schlegel in center, Shea Bowen in right. Ferraggiaro steps in. The switch hitter takes just outside from Moquin, ball one. 1-0. Luke Lavin stopped at second on the ground single through the 6-hole by Kaysen Consarinia to give the Knights the early lead. The 1-0 pitch to Ferraggiaro. That misses high. Ball two. 2-0. There are notes available as you come into the ballpark, and we hope that many of you have filled out a message. Strikeout Cancer on behalf of yourself, a loved one, somebody that has been fighting the battle. If you have a message, these messages will be written in the whited out rectangular box on the placards handed out to fans before the game. All of this will be much appreciated by Project HER, Help, Enlightenment, and Resources, as part of the great effort by the Corvallis Clinic Foundation. The 2-0 pitch missing to Ferraggiaro, ball three. The 3-0 offering misses a little bit high for ball four. Now, Thomas lingered around home plate for a while, almost as though he was engaged with Isaac McAllister, the home plate umpire, like, are you sure that isn't a strike? Is it ball four? Yes and yes seem to be McAllister's answers. So down to first base goes Thomas Ferraggiaro. The Knights lead it 1-0, and they have the bases loaded with 2 down and a chance to really make a statement early in trying to seize control of the first of this 4-game series. Dufort takes off speed and away, ball one. And that will lead to a conversation now with the pitching coach, Justin Parrish, on his way out to the mound. Nate Moquin retired Brandon Cabrera to open his outing. Blake Wilson singled to right, stole second, but then Kevin Takeuchi flied to center. That sent Wilson to third. And Nate was an out away from getting through it. But a 2-out RBI single for Consarinia. A walk to Lavin, a walk to Ferraggiaro. The bases are loaded in a count of 1-0 to Quinn Dufort. Starting the series at a team leading 388. No homers and 10 runs batted in. Quinn had a strong all-star series over the weekend. And a guy that I know Knights fans have really enjoyed. A two-way player heading to the University of Portland. So Coach Parrish has had his say. Cowlitz is led by Kelly Stinnett in his second year after leading the Black Bears to their first playoff appearance in the West Coast League since 2012 last summer. 14-year major leaguer. Dufort, a fly ball base hit into right field over Keaton Grady. Luke Lavin scores. Consarinia right behind him to score. A 2-run single for Quinn Dufort. The Knights lead it 3-0. Thomas Ferraggiaro raced to third on the base hit to right field for Dufort. Runners at the corners and 2 down for Tyler Howard as the Knights look to keep adding on to an already impressive 3-0 lead in the first. Runners at the corners, 2 down. Nate Moquin delivers. Howard fouls one into the netting above the Cowlitz dugout on the first base side. Tyler at 260 with 6 runs batted in. 330 down both lines at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 365 to the alleys, 400 feet to straightaway center. Ferragamo at third, Dufort at first. The ball bounces away from J.J. Kennett. And into second base goes Quinn Dufort. And an opportunity now for Tyler Howard to drive in, too, and create at least a 5-run inning for the Knights here in the bottom of the first. Moquin continues to work from the stretch. The 1-1 pitch to Howard popped up on the right side and playable. Keaton Grady goes out. Shea Bowen, the right fielder, comes in. Bowen takes care of business to retire the side. However, the Knights score 3 on 3 hits, no errors. They leave 2. And at the end of 1, the Knights 3 and Cowlitz nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Looking for the latest news that you can trust? Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
Top of the second inning, 3-0 Knights. With the right-hander going to work in the first pitch, delivered by Tyner Horn, produces a foul ball down the left field line. Good hustle by a trio of Knights, particularly Blake Wilson, diving in foul territory. Not quite able to pull it in, but a good effort. And the count, no balls and 1 strike to the left-hand hitting Shea Bowen, leading things off for Cowlitz here in the top of the second inning. Bowen out of Lubbock Christian, but a Pacific Northwest kid. Tumwater High School. Originally began at Shasta College, where he was the Golden Valley Conference MVP. He's also played at Umpqua Community College. An original commit to University of Incarnate Word. He takes the strike 1 pitch in there for a strike from Tyner Horn. The 0-2 pitch just off the plate. Tyner comes back. The 1-2 pitch pulled foul past the first base coach, Shane McCarroll, a former manager right here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, former manager for the Oregon State baseball team. Head coach Kelly Stinnett coaches at third. 3-0 Knights in the second. The 1-2 pitch, fastball pulled slowly on the artificial turf to Peyton Miller. Underhands to Quinn Dufort for the out. Nice play by Peyton. 1 away, and Andy Allenson will be the hitter. Allenson plays his college baseball for Kelly Stinnett at Park University in Gilbert, Arizona. And this Andy Allenson is indeed the son of the longtime Major League catcher who went to the University of Richmond, Andy Allenson the elder. Andy swings and hits 1 foul to the left and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1 fastball, good pitch. Down and in, swung on and missed by Andy, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Allenson appearing in his 13th game, hitting .239 for the Black Bears with 9 RBIs. Tyner ready, comes back with the 0-2 pitch, pop foul off third. Ferragamo coming over. Ferragamo and the catcher, Tyler Howard, come together and let the ball land between. Tough play for both. The wind is blowing towards left. A tough sun field for Ferraggiaro. Ultimately, probably Ferraggiaro's ball, but it would have been the baseball of either one that just took emphatic charge of the play, and neither did. So, still life up there for Allenson, but no more. He swings at a change, foul tips it into the mitt of Tyler Howard for strike 3. 2 down. Tyler Horn just simply lets it go and comes back and gets an out on the next pitch. Jonathan Mendez will be the hitter. 2 outs, nobody on, 3-0 Knights in the second. Tyner kicks and comes to the plate. Breaking ball down and away, ball 1. 1-0. Horn's 1-0 pitch. Fastball just missed. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Jonathan Mendez, right-hand hitter, playing for former Oregon State All-American Andrew Checketts at UCSB. 2-0 slider in there for a strike. We were talking the other day in Springfield about the paucity of good hitting, productive hitting at the major league level these days. Another breaking ball down in the count, 2-2. One of the reasons given in the article in The Athletic was there are no more giveaway pitches, no more quote-unquote meat balls, M-E-A-T. The 3-1 fastball, runs down and in for ball 4. And Jonathan Mendez draws a walk with 2 outs, becoming the first Cowlitz Black Bears runner. The hitters lamenting that there are no free pitches anymore. 2-0, 3-1, getting into a hitter's count, so to speak. 2-0, 3-1, I still believe would be advantageous. I don't know what the numbers breakdown is on averages with a count of 2-0 or 3-1 compared to 1-2 or 0-2 or whatever. I'm sure that's, just punch in a few numbers and you can have that information at your fingertips. But the upshot of the Athletic article was, with another throw to first and a bad one, an errant one, gets away from the first baseman, Quinn Dufort, chased down in the right field corner by Kaysen Concerinian. It's a 2-base error on the pickoff attempt by Tyner Horn, and Jonathan Mendez cruises into third. All of this with 2 outs, so Tyner's still okay as he faces Jaron Navarez, whom he has yet to throw a pitch to, and his second throw over to first skipped by Quinn Dufort. So an opportunity for Cowlitz to get on the board. Tyner Horn to the plate, popped up on the left side. Now this should produce an out. Third baseman Thomas Ferraggiaro gets the out near the third base coaching box in front of his own dugout, shielding the sun with his glove and making the catch. The upshot being 2-0, 3-1. Pitchers are throwing nasty stuff. Not just, well, I don't want to walk somebody, I'm going to throw a fastball and get a lot of the plate. No. They're executing pitches that are just nearly unhittable on 2-0 and 3-1 counts, at least according to The Athletic and the hitters quoted therein a couple of days ago. In the second for Cowlitz, no runs, no hits, an error, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second. The Knights 3 and the Black Bears nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. For replacement glass or new vinyl windows in your home, call Smith Glass, located in Corvallis and Albany. Smith Glass is a leading residential and commercial glass service for the Mid-Valley and a longtime partner of the Corvallis Knights. Smith Glass, on the cutting edge since 1945. Peyton Miller to lead things off for the Knights in the bottom of the second inning. Then back to the top of the order to Brandon Cabrera, followed by Blake Wilson. Moquin's first pitch, a fastball up and in that catches a piece of Peyton Miller's jersey. Peyton spinning out of the way of that pitch, riding up and in on him, but it did get a bit of his uniform. So Miller heads down to first on a first pitch hit batter, and Brandon Cabrera, the hitter. Brandon plied to right field in the first. I am in the process between innings of writing my own message. It's on behalf of anyone who's ever dealt with the horrible disease of cancer. My own mom fought a nearly 9-year battle and fought it courageously and died at the age of 53. The reason we moved to Oregon, she was given a grim prognosis and lived well beyond it. My dad didn't want to be a widower growing in Southern California with 2 kids to finish raising. The 1-0 pitch, a bunt to Brandon Cabrera, fielded by Moquin. He throws to first for the out. A sacrifice 1-3. Nicely done by Brandon Cabrera. Peyton Miller into second. Blake Wilson, the batter, as the Knights try to add to their 3-0 lead. I was born in Los Angeles, adopted at 3 months, and grew up in Hacienda Heights, California, and living happily along there. And then when I was 12, my mom received her diagnosis and plans were made. My dad didn't want to, he wanted to get back to a little town that he'd seen just after World War II, driving a fuel truck up and down the state of Oregon, Cottage Grove, Oregon. And here's another hit batter, Blake Wilson, hit in the small of the back by the delivery from Nate Moquin. So 2 hit batters in the inning. Peyton Miller at second, Blake Wilson at first, Kevin Takeuchi the batter. 2 on and 1 out, the Knights leading 3-0. And so it took about 2 years to sell our house, but we found a place in Cottage Grove, Oregon, and moved from SoCal, about 25 miles east of downtown Los Angeles, to the 6,500 population town, beautiful Cottage Grove, and been in the Beaver State ever since 1973. First pitch missing to Takeuchi, ball 1, 1-0. But my mom, who was given at best 2 to 3 years with that original diagnosis, diagnosis and the subsequent prognosis, lived all the way to July 29th of 1979. And we thank all the people and the research and everything that helped keep her with us as long as we were allowed. The 1-0 pitch, chop foul past Brooke Knight, and the count 1-1. So all of the work that's going on, the strikeout cancer effort by Project HER, the Corvallis Clinic Foundation, grants, private donations. Just so grateful for all of the people that work in that area, and we've all of us, I'm sure anybody listening, anybody would have a story similar to the one I just shared about the long and arduous and challenging battle. My mom was given, though, more life thanks to some of the things that have been discovered by that time. A chopper to third, fielded nicely by third baseman Sergio DiCello. He tries to make a tag on Peyton Miller going by and missed the tag, but throws out Kevin Takeuchi. 2 down, Peyton Miller into third base, Blake Wilson into second, and Luke Lavin the batter. 3-0, the Knights in front and have a chance for another 2-out, 2-run single. Quinn Dufort, a 2-run single in the first inning to give the Knights a 3-0 advantage. Nate Moquin out of the stretch. Delivers to Luke, who swings and doesn't get it. 0-1 the count. Luke walked and scored last inning. We appreciate all of you taking time tonight to contribute with your own story in the strikeout cancer placard window that's been provided here as you entered the ballpark. No balls and 1 strike to Luke Lavin. The 0-1 pitch is in the turf, and the count 1-1. A doubleheader tomorrow, 5 o'clock and 30 minutes after the completion of Game 1. A singleton on Thursday. Incoming freshman James DeCramer, who is our pregame show guest tonight, will be the night starter Thursday, coming into pitch for the first time in the ballpark he hopes to excel in for Mitch Canham and the Beavers next year. The 1-1 pitch to Lavin, fastball foul back. The count 1-2 to Luke. I know that Mitch wants to see Luke Lavin and Stanford next year. Hasn't quite been able to work out a schedule with Coach Esker, or Cal for that matter either. I know that I's are being dotted and T's crossed on that full independent schedule for Oregon State next spring. The 1-2 pitch to Lavin, lifted to center and playable. Dylan Schlegel moving back. Dylan reaches up to make the catch. The inning is over. 2 hit batters in the inning, but the Knights fail to capitalize. They leave 2, and at the end of 2, the Knights 3 and Cowlitz nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Top of the 3rd inning, the Knights leading 3-0. And leading things off for the Cowlitz Black Bears, Cody Estes, son of Sean, swinging and fouling one away to the left. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cody, followed by J.J. Kennett, then back to the top of the order, and Dylan Schlegel. Sean Estes, a 14-year major leaguer. The Giants, the Mets, the Reds, the Cubs, Colorado, Arizona, the Padres, a 101-game winner in his major league career. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count 2-2 to Cody. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 3-0 Knights in the 3rd. The right-hander back to the plate, breaking ball in there, strike 3 called. Tyner Horn dropping in a slider beautifully to the young man out of South Mountain Community College in Phoenix. Cody strikes out to open the Black Bears' 3rd. And that brings J.J. Kennett to the plate. Estes, by the way, starting the game at 2:43 with a couple of runs batted in. Kennett, a fly ball to shallow right field. A long run for Kaysen Consarinia, but he's up to it. He makes the catch. 2 down in the 3rd. Good jump and read on the part of Consarinia to get the out on J.J. Kennett, out of the outstanding program at Dallas Baptist University. Goodness gracious, what a job the coaches, the administrators, the players, the community have done in creating a perennial power in baseball at Dallas Baptist. And the Beavers have had their own experience with the Patriots, and they haven't necessarily been good. Lost an opportunity to go to a super regional in the Fort Worth Regional 3 years ago to DBU. The first pitch missing to Dylan Schlegel. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. 3-0 Knights in the 3rd. Schlegel grounded out to 3rd to open the game on the first pitch of tonight's ball game. He swings at a breaking ball here and fouls it back. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Under the lights, really not necessary at the moment, but they are on. It is a gorgeous, warm, breezy evening. The breeze is picking up and blowing to left center. Fastball swung on and fouled at the plate. Good pitch riding up and in from Tyner Horn on Dylan Schlegel. A count of 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dylan. Starting the day at .353. The team leader in hits with 12. Cowlitz coming in at 8-9. The Knights at 17-3. Breaking ball hooked down the left field line, foul. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes with Tyner Horn. I saw some Nebraska gear a little bit earlier. Yeah, and I'm not sure to whom it belonged, whether Tyner might have some friends and relatives in here from Nebraska, at least, which is where he's going. He's from Kansas, Halstead, Kansas. He delivers high and inside ball, too, but going to the University of Nebraska. A burgeoning program there as well. The 2-2 slider just off the plate. Ball 3. Home plate umpire Isaac McAllister appeared to flinch a bit. I thought he might ring up Schlegel. Horn was taking a couple of steps back toward his dugout. Now the 3-2 pitch. He gets his man anyway in a breaking ball. Taken. Strike 3 called. So Horn knew that was the path ahead for him. And he does get his man with a couple of called third strikes here in the third. He faces the minimum, a 1-2-3 inning. And at the end of 2.5, it remains the Knights 3 and Cowlitz nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the third inning, 3-0 Knights. Kaysen Concerina swings at the first pitch from Nate Moquin and rolls it past head coach Brooke Knight. Kaysen an RBI single in the first through the 6-hole. Under the bright early evening sunshine, the Knights leading 3-0 in game 1 of a 4-game set with Cowlitz. Breaking ball whacked to center, base hit. Kaysen Concerina is 2 for 2. Dylan Schlegel getting the baseball back in. And Thomas Ferraggiaro, who walked in the first, will come to the plate. The Knights scoring 3 runs in the first inning. and get a leadoff single here in the third against Nate Moquin. The right-hander comes set and comes to the plate. Ferragaro slaps it foul past Coach Knight. No balls and 1 strike. A really big year last year for Cowlitz. Finishing as one of the hottest teams in the West Coast League and making the playoffs for the first time since 2012. The team came into existence in 2010 in the West Coast League. The strike 1 pitch, Ferragaro takes low, ball 1, 1-1. A really storied tradition for baseball. A great baseball community. They play their games at Story Field at Lower Columbia Community College, do the Black Bears. Our own Jack Riley, legendary head coach here at Oregon State for 22 years, was coaching at Lower Columbia before being hired here. A throw to first base and Kaysen Consarini back, but the likes of Buddy Black, Rick Sweet, Trevor May, Jason Schmidt, all with ties to that area of baseball. Really a good baseball community historically. A throw to first base, and Ferragaro watches as he waits at the plate. A count of 1-1. Consarini back to the bag. Moquin from the stretch. And the 1-1 pitch on a hit and run with Consarini going. A one-hopper right at the first baseman, Andy Allenson, who fields and steps on the bag, but because Consarini was on the move, well, it would have been a great chance for a 3-6 double play. Instead, gives Consarini a chance to stay on the base paths, and Quinn Dufort, who had a 2-run single in the first, a chance to pick up another run batted in here. Consarini would be a threat to try to pick up another 90 feet. He's 4 for 5 in stolen bases. Quinn Dufort looking for his 3rd run driven in. Takes in the turf. Good block by J.J. Kennett. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Kennett a long way from his home area, from Mandeville, Louisiana, then playing collegiately at Dallas Baptist, but summering out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Hope he's enjoying the experience. The 1-0 pitch in the turf for ball 2, 2-0. It's a little different here, no doubt, from the aforementioned areas just in terms of the heat and the humidity and all of that. And this night is a perfect example of what nights in the Pacific Northwest are all about. It's about perfect. Consarini hopping away from second. Nate Moquin delivers. Good fastball in there for a strike. And the count 2-1. The bard of the Yukon, the great Robert Service, said of summers in the Yukon, the summer is no sweeter as ever. But I'm not sure how much time he spent here. I suppose the folks up there would enjoy their summers and relish sunshine, maybe even more than we do. A throw to second base. And back to the bag goes Consarini. The throw received by shortstop Jonathan Mendez. A lot of people on the river today, an 87-degree day in the Mid-Valley. And one of the great traditions in our community, the floating the Willamette. A lot of folks beginning to enjoy that great event in all of our summers here. 2-1 pitch, fouled at the plate, and the count 2-2. 3-0 Knights, bottom of the third inning. Quinn Dufort trying to make it 4-0. Consarini getting his lead from second. Moquin to the plate with a 2-2 pitch. Off speed, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Good pitch by Quinn. 2 down, or Nate, I should say. 2 Quinn. Nate Moquin, 2 Quinn Dufort. 2 down, and Tyler Howard, who flied to right field in the first, looking for the 2-out hit. Moquin doing a pretty good job, all things considered. It had a chance to really get out of hand early. 6'4", 200-pound Moquin from Omaha. From the stretch, the right-hander Moquin delivers and hits the outside corner. 0-1 the count. The Knights did score 3 in the first, but one more hit would have knocked in 2 Would have been a 5-run game and almost a feeling like ball game is over, but he's made some good pitches and trying to keep his team very much in the fight in this one. Game 1 of 4, doubleheader tomorrow, getting underway at 5. Howard lifts one over the Omaha Room, and our first action into Urchin Alley tonight to run the count to no balls and 2 strikes. And some urchins leaving the stands. They're going to be a little late for that one, but they just figured out, hey, a lot of action in that alley behind the right field bleachers. So we just saw 2 youngsters racing from the metal bleachers to get into the alley for future action. Consarini going to third. The strike 2 pitch is in the turf. And Consarini is in with a stolen base, and that's another contribution on behalf of the Corvallis Knights and Papay Material Handling. The Knights and Papay Material Handling stepping up to contribute $30 to Community Outreach, Inc., helping people through difficulties and struggles in life lead healthy and productive lives here in our area. 1 and 2 to Tyler Howard. Nate Moak went out of the stretch. Consarini at third with 2 down. The 1-2 breaking ball, slap foul below the Omaha Room. Pretty good Omaha connection with Jack Connolly, the voice of the Cowlitz Black Bears. I asked him where he was from. He said to my question, where are you from, Jack? Omaha. And then he said, Mecca. I said, yeah, you're about that. That's not hyperbole. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball taken just low, ball 2, 2-2. Congratulations to Tennessee winning its first national championship. Texas A&M was attempting to do the same. And the Volunteers get it done. What a great moment for those young men and that institution. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tyler Howard rolls one slowly foul past third. The count remains 2-2. We are now in our longest, since Pat Casey and the Beavers broke through in 2005, now in our longest stretch drought from getting to Mecca. 6 years had been the previous, and it'll be, if the Beavers make it next year, well, it'll be a full 7. Last trip was in 18. Howard takes a slider just outside. Pitch looked pretty good, but the home plate umpire, Isaac McAllister, didn't like it, and the count is full, 3-2. Good at bat for Tyler. He was down in the count 0-2. He's worked it to 3-2. Kaysen Consarini at third with 2 down. 3-0 Knights in the bottom of the third. The right-hander Nate Moak one from the stretch, kicks and comes and delivers ball 4. Nice job by Tyler Howard. From 0-2 to ball 4, and Peyton Miller, the batter. Peyton was hit by a pitch to open last inning. Ended up being stranded with the right-hander Moquin able to find the right stuff at the right time, getting the 3 and 4 hole hitters with runners at second and third. Peyton Miller at the plate. The pitch on the way. Slider just misses. Ball 1, 1-0. Peyton has a look at Brook Knight. The Knights down in Springfield on Sunday attempted, didn't execute. I mean, it didn't go awry on them, but they attempted a suicide squeeze on 2 occasions. Miller, a line drive to right field. Shea Bowen, well positioned, comes in to make the catch. And the inning is over. The suicide or safety would not be in play with 2 down. But it just seen with a runner at third and Peyton Miller looking down at Brook Knight, reminded that on Sunday the Knights did twice attempt to get a run home via the suicide squeeze. The Knights again come up empty in the third. No runs, a hit, 2 left. At the end of 3, the Knights 3 and Cowlitz nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Lions fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, the one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 3 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. Cowlitz, no runs, no hits, and no errors. Tyner Horn to work on Brandon Cabrera in the 4th. Brandon takes high and away, ball 1. Oh, pardon me. The 2-hole hitter, Keaton Grady, got to turn the sheet over on occasion. Keaton takes low, ball 2, 2-0. Tyner Horn back to the plate and misses for ball 3. 3 straight out of the zone from Tyner, who has pitched very well. He's issued 1 walk. The right-hander's 3-0 pitch. He's issued 2 walks. Ball 4. That'll bring Sergio DiCello to the plate. DiCello grounded out to Quinn Dufort in the 1st. Brooks Hatch delivered to me a few minutes ago, as he often does, the director of communications for the Corvallis Knights, just how former Knights and in some cases former Beavers did in the major leagues. It's a pretty good handful of players that are in that those categories. Fastball to DiCello, a strike, and the count 0-1. But he also said, what if I said to Tyner Horn, who lost his cap on a play that he made earlier, the 0-1 pitch, breaking ball in there for strike 2. Hatch, who's older than me, and there aren't many that I can say that of around here, but Brooks said, if I said your hat coming off reminds me of Jim Bouton, would he know? And I said no, he wouldn't. There goes a runner. The strike 2 pitch is driven to right and deep. Back on the ball goes Consarini to the warning track and makes the catch. Good job by Kaysen to haul it in. Deep in right field, a long out off the bat of Sergio DiCello, one of the longest hit balls of the year. I have not seen a home run in this ballpark since beginning my duties on the broadcast site with Port Angeles here a couple of weeks back, and that ball was the closest I've seen to leaving the ballpark. Well struck by Sergio DiCello for a long out. Keaton Grady, who was going, hustled back to first. 1 away, and Shea Bowen, the batter. Shea takes a strike, and the count 0-1. A throw to first base, and Keaton Grady back to the bag. No, I don't think he would or anyone would if I went around and just simply said, hey, any of you ever heard of Jim Bouton? A bunt foul up along third, and the count 0-2 by Shea Bowen. Now, if the youngsters asked me right now about the starting rotation for the Tampa Bay Rays or the Cleveland Guardians or even the Seattle Mariners or the Cincinnati Reds, they might know all of that, and I certainly wouldn't. So, it's all a very relative thing. But I did say to Brooks when he asked me that, a throw to first, it got me thinking a little bit about when I was their age and younger, even 10, 11, 12 years old, I knew who Pie Traynor was, The strike two pitch, pounded foul at the plate, and the count 0-2. Now, and I don't think that's because you were just this nerdy baseball nut freak. No, we all kind of did, my buddies and I, and we would talk about Pie Traynor. We would talk about Charlie Gehringer. We'd talk about Paul and Lloyd Wainer when we were 9 and 10 years old. If these kids don't talk about Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson, Maury Wills, Willie Davis, Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, Jim Ray Hart. Nothing wrong if they don't. There goes the runner. The pitch is inside. The throw to second is not in time. Good jump by Keaton Grady to get the stolen base. Nothing wrong with that at all. If somebody doesn't know who Jim Ray Hart or Ray Sadecki or Jose Pagan or Jim Davenport, okay, so what? That they don't know who they are. But why did we know who Pie Traynor and Earl Combs were when we were at a similar age or even younger? That's what I'm trying to figure out. The 1-2 fastball, a check swing on appeal, no swing, says Santiago de la Garza. The count 2-2. And it must have been we didn't have everything they have in terms of the immediacy of highlights and video highlights and baseball cards, baseball books, the sporting news, those types of things were our lifeblood. The pitch to Bowen lifted over the head of Kevin Takeuchi all the way to the warning track in left field. Keaton Grady comes in easily to score, being waved home by Kelly Stinnett, and Bowen cruises into second with an opposite field double, and the Cowlitz Black Bears here in the fourth on the scoreboard. The Knights 3 and Cowlitz 1, and a chance to draw even closer now with Andy Allenson at the plate and another man in scoring position. Andy struck out in the second. So it's not a value judgment in any wise. I hope you understand. I'm just asking, why did we know and the youngsters of today don't seem to, like we did, in comparison about, who we knew and what we'd read and heard about? We had a Beaver third baseman last year playing third base for the Beavers. I said, you made that play like Brooks Robinson. He looked at me blankly. He didn't know who Brooks Robinson was, and he himself was a third baseman. The pitch, a strike to Andy Allenson. Tyner Horn comes back, swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. And yet, in 1966 or 67, I could, you made that play like Billy Cox. I would have known what it meant. The strike two pitch, fastball high and away. Is that just reading the books, the baseball cards? We had less going on, less immediate stuff with highlights, so we fed ourselves more on the history of the game than the current set of highlights coming through our phone. Is that it? I don't know. I'm just asking. 3-1 Knights in the fourth. The 1-2 change, swung on and missed, strike three. 2 down. Jonathan Mendez will come to the plate. It's just a different way to absorb the game, and I am impressed by the young fans that I do know and their burning and love of the game. It's just the way we come to the game is different. Ours was a different path. I talked to young T.J. Mathewson and others. First pitch fastball just outside, ball 1 to Mendez, who can cite exit velos and wobas and wars and slash lines in the way we used to talk about. Stan Musial hit 475 homers. And so did Willie Stargell. A chopper foul back of third, and the count 1-1. But I couldn't tell you the single exit velo of any of the home runs I saw my man Andy Costco hit in 1969. Or Richie Allen hitting 23 in 1970, including a walk-off that I nearly caught in the left field pavilion at Chavez Ravine. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down, 3-1 Knights in the fourth. Breaking ball, a chopper towards third. Between hops for Ferragamo. Long throw to first, gets by Quinn Dufort into foul territory. Rounding third and coming in to score is Shea Bowen. And it is suddenly a 1-run game. Jonathan Mendez hitting a kind of a tweener that I knew was going to be a little difficult for any third baseman in that case. Pie Traynor, Ron Santo, Billy Cox, or Ferragamo. And he tried to get on top of the throw, uncorked a wild one past Quinn Dufort. And it's now 3-2 with a tying run. Jonathan Mendez at first, and Jaron Navarez, who popped to third base in the second, the batter. Horn delivers fastball high, ball one, 1-0. Mendez held on by Quinn Dufort, and heading out to the mound is Cole Stringer. And I thought Bo Kearns was going to be with us through June 27th. That's what I was told originally. Life being busy and what it was, I didn't have a chance to get down before the game into the coach's office, which I normally am able to. But it appears as though Bo has thus coached his last with the Knights. I was told the 27th last week, but Bo isn't here, and Cole Stringer makes the visit to the mound, which tells me Bo must be off to his exciting new and challenging and well-deserved opportunity for Gary Henderson at the University of Utah. Cole Stringer, a very able and a guy in a very short amount of time I've really enjoyed visiting with and getting to know, is out for his visit with Tyner Horn, trying to help Tyner kind of reel things back in a little bit here. With a leadoff walk, which is always flirting with trouble, 2 runs in, an account of 1-0 to Josh Navarez and Jonathan Mendez, the tying run at first. Coach Stringer back into the dugout on the third base side. The 1-0 fastball, a little low. Ball 2, 2-0. Mendez appearing in just his second game with the Black Bears, 1 for 1 in steals, draws a throw and gets back. Mendez the tying run at first. The 2-0 pitch lifted foul, Waldo away. The count 2 balls and 1 strike. Waldo Hall, built in 1907. The same year as this ballpark, 07, 1 year after the hitless wonders of 06, the White Sox, the hitless wonders they were called. Baseball, Frank Sinatra, Eddie Arnold, life keeps going through cycles. Baseball in a cycle now where pitching is winning the day. The pitch in there for a strike and the count 2-2. Horn comes back and just misses for ball 3. There was some concern and hand-wringing even in 1906 when the hitless wonders won a World Series, and I think had a team batting average of around 220, thereabouts. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down. Runner goes, a ground ball deflected off the leg by Tyner Horn to the shortstop, Blake Wilson. Wilson makes the play behind second and throws out Jaron Navarez. And because Mendez was going, that moved Blake Wilson toward the path at second and gave him an opportunity to make the play from behind the bag. Otherwise, we'd have runners at first and third and 2 down if Mendez had not been sent. Cowlitz closes the gap. The Black Bears get 2, and at the end of 3.5, the Knights 3 and the Black Bears 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. If you live or work in one of 24 Western or Central Oregon counties, then you are entitled to membership privileges and the full financial services at Oregon State Credit Union. You can join online at OregonStateCU.com or at one of their 15 branches. Oregon State Credit Union is once again the proud title sponsor of the Corvallis Knights July 3rd fireworks night. Oregon State Credit Union, investing in all of our communities and dedicated to creating financial solutions toward making local lives better. Nate Moquin has given the baseball over to left-hander Alex Buchanan as we move to the bottom of the fourth inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Cowlitz Black Bears scoring 2 runs in the top of the inning, and now Buchanan about ready to make his third appearance. An inning and a third, heretofore 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. For the Knights, it'll be Brandon Cabrera, followed by Blake Wilson, and then Kevin Takeuchi, the top of the order up for the Knights in game 1 of this 4-game series. A doubleheader tomorrow getting underway at 5, with the second game approximately at 7:30. The first pitch in there for a strike to Brandon Cabrera from Buchanan. The lefty kicks and comes back with a strike 1 pitch, a chopper right at the third baseman, Sergio DiCello. He fields and throws to first to get Cabrera, who had flied to right and sacrificed in his first 2 at-bats. 1 away in this 3-2 ball game. The Knights in front. Blake Wilson, the batter. Blake singled to right, stole a base, and scored a run in the first inning, hit by a pitch in the second. I don't know if Linda Barcher is in the ballpark tonight. Linda, I didn't see you in making a pass through the Jack Riley concourse, a chopper foul back of third. Linda, thank you so much. The other day, she made a lunch for me, and it was well received on yours truly's part. Very grateful for it. Delicious sandwiches. Thank you so much for looking out for me, Linda. And if you're in the ballpark tonight listening, thanks again. The pitch to Blake Wilson is lined directly in the path of the sun for a base hit into left field, so much so that shortstop Jonathan Mendez ducked. He didn't even try to make a play. He saw the ball come off the bat, and it immediately went into the path of the sun, with apologies to the door of the sun to Al Martino, and Mendez ducked down out of the way. He wanted no part to try to make a catch on the line drive, which cleared him by several feet as it was. He's fine. Blake Wilson, a line drive base hit, is 2 for 2. Kevin Takeuchi, the batter. And Kevin takes the first pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. 3-2 Knights. Bottom of the fourth inning with left-hander Alex Buchanan. The strike 1 pitch, a line drive, base hit to right field. Right on it on a hop is Shea Bowen. Stopping at second base, Blake Wilson. Kevin Takeuchi with a base hit to right. Back-to-back singles here in the fourth. And Luke Lavin, the hitter. Luke drew a walk and scored in the first inning, plied to center in the second. Left-hander Alex Buchanan picking up for the starter Nate Moquin. Buchanan out of the NAIA program in Ottawa, Kansas, Ottawa University. And Hales, though, a Pacific Northwest kid from Castle Rock. He misses with the first pitch to Luke Lavin. The 1-0 pitch missing high for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. 3-2 Knights here in the bottom of the fourth. With 1 out, back-to-back singles from Blake Wilson and Kevin Takeuchi. Buchanan comes set and works Lavin 2-0. Fastball swung on and missed. 2-1 the count. Alex, a big southpaw, 6'4", 210. Kason Consarinia on deck. Blake Wilson at second, Kevin Takeuchi at first. And the pitch to Luke raises Luke Lavin. near the lower back, bottom of the jersey area, and that's the third hit batsman for Cowlitz pitching. That loads the bases with one out for Kaysen Consarinia, who is 2 for 2. Kaysen an RBI single through the 6 hole in the first, single to center field in the third. So after getting scored upon and seeing Cowlitz draw within a run, the Knights trying to kind of rest whatever momentum that may have generated for Cowlitz right back into their own camp with the sacks full and one out. Blake Wilson at third, Kevin Takeuchi at second, Luke Lavin at first. The infield a double play depth for the Black Bears. Buchanan, the big southpaw out of the stretch, delivers and misses high with a breaking ball. Ball one, 1-0. The Knights at 17-3 coming in. Last year, their route to the playoffs was a bit more circuitous than usual. They did not win the first half. The 1-0 pitch on the way, fouled straight back, and the count 1-1, and had to work their way through on the road in a good series with the Cowlitz Black Bears. The Knights were able to take the series after losing in an exciting game 1 at Story Field. Bases loaded and one out. The 1-1 pitch from Buchanan misses a little low and away. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kaysen Consarinia. UCLA commit out of San Dimas High School. Has a chance to help the Knights regain control of this one. 3-2 with the bases loaded and one out. Takes low and inside. Ball 3. 3-1. Coulter McAnally will get a start tomorrow in Game 1. Peyton Risky, the starter in Game 2. James DeCramer, Oregon State bound, in the 4th and final game of the series. The 3-1 pitch to Kaysen rolled slowly foul in front of the Corvallis Knights dugout. The count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 4th inning, 3-2 Knights, bases full and 1 out. Out of the stretch, again, works Alex Buchanan. The 3-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed for strike 3. 2 down. That's a big out recorded by Buchanan, and that's something that we saw his predecessor, Nate Moquin, engage in. 3 runs in the first inning for the Knights, but they left 2. The Knights failed to score in the second, leaving 2. Left 2 more last inning. And now here in the 4th, the bases loaded and 2 down. Thomas Ferragaro has walked and grounded to first, stepping in against Buchanan. And Alex's first pitch is in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. No balls and a strike, the count to Ferragaro. Buchanan delivers high, and the count 1-1. Very pleasant night for baseball, and on the quiet side, given the nature of the scene in front of us. Bases loaded and 2 down, and I suppose I should be thankful that it's more organic than usual. The 1-1 pitch hit foul over my head and into Urchin Alley, and almost hit an older urchin walking by, having no idea what was going on. He didn't appear to be coming here for a ball game, and he almost got hit on the sconce. He's okay. It bounced over his head. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bases full and 2 down in a 1-run affair. The Knights trying to change that, leading 3-2, but Buchanan a strike away from getting through a mess. The left-hander kicks and delivers, and the breaking ball misses high and away. Blake Wilson at third, Kevin Takeuchi at second, Luke Lavin at first, 2 down. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Thomas Ferragaro. Buchanan in his first inning of work trying to get through it with a 0 on the board. The big lefty comes back with a 2-2 pitch. Fastball hit foul above the Omaha room and over to the far reaches of Urchin Alley. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Quinn Dufort on deck. Two and 2 the count to Thomas Ferragaro. Buchanan again looking to get through it. Alex comes set, kicks the leg and delivers a slow roller to short. Jonathan Mendez shovels to his Keystone partner Keaton Grady. And the Knights have left 9 through 4. As they leave the sacks full here, the inning is over. At the end of 4, it's still the Knights 3 and Cowlitz 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Fans, it is time to stand up to cancer. Knights and Black Bears players and coaches and the umpires are out on the field with their own strikeout cancer placards. Please rise and display your placards now. Cancer is a terrible, terrible disease. It has likely affected every single person in this ballpark.
Quite a moment here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. We have talked about the Corvallis Clinic Foundation's Project HER tonight, Help, Enlightenment, and Resources, a program of the Corvallis Clinic Foundation in the ongoing heart-rending, incredibly challenging, and yet at times it can be amazingly rewarding in terms of the stories that come through Project HER. And all of the players for the Knights, coaches, the players and coaches and staff for both teams are now out on the field. And those of you watching in the live stream see exactly what I'm talking about as we pause and stop down with everyone in the ballpark who took time to fill out one of the placards, as did yours truly, and all of the players for both teams and the coaches are all displaying the placards that they took time to fill out, because there is no one on that field, and there's no one listening to my voice. And I mean, and that's not hyperbole. When the request was, any of you who have been touched in your family life, your own life, or in the life of your family or friends by someone afflicted with cancer, please write your story and give a name and a moment on behalf of those loved ones so afflicted. And so every member of both teams, the Cowlitz Black Bears and the Corvallis Knights, are holding up their specially dedicated and written messages all over this ballpark. And people are taking a moment of silence here now on behalf of lost loved ones and in a prayerful mode for those that are in that fight even now. And I did share my story a little bit earlier, and I'll just read you what I wrote, and I know these will be collected, but I just wrote, my mom, Nancy Parker, fought a nearly 9-year battle with cancer. I lost her when I was 20 years old. I loved her much, and I miss her. But I'm so grateful that Breakthroughs in Treatment gave her more years with us than the doctors had originally thought she would have. I saw things, and she even said to me during the many times of convalescence after treatment, laying on our couch in our home in Cottage Grove, she said, You're not going to remember anything about me except just being sick here on this couch. And Mom, that's just not true. And I was so proud of the fight that she fought, and she was an inspiration to us. We loved her dearly, and I've missed her. I'm 65 now, and just thinking about her tonight through the auspices of the Corvallis Clinic Foundation and Project Her, thinking about her deeply and loving her much, and grateful to all of these young men and the fans here who are taking time to reflect on some of their own experiences. But my mother was a wonderful person. I lost her much too young. She was only 53 when she passed. But she was a true inspiration to me in life about some of the old baseball stuff that I've been talking about here, when I say, well, how come I knew? And maybe she told me stories about growing up in Portland, the Portland Beavers, and being part of the Knothole gang at Old Vaughn Street, Lucky Beaver Ballpark in Vaughn Street. In the heyday of Portland Beavers baseball in the Pacific Coast League, she and her brother, my Uncle Bob, would go down and watch Portland Beavers games literally through the knotholes in the fence out in left field. And tell me about listening to recreations from the late, great Raleigh Truitt calling baseball games on the radio. She shared all of this with me as I began to evince an interest at a young age. And I didn't have it. No one in my family really was that into sports until I discovered baseball at the age of 7. And then that's when my mom began to regale me with stories, and she also inculcated in me a love for old things, old movies, old books. We read a lot together. She read to me constantly, and if I didn't know a word, we'd look it up together. We'd stop and look it up, and she'd have me use it in a sentence, that type of thing, and made me watch W.C. Fields and the Marx Brothers. All of these things I am eternally grateful for, and miss her deeply and love her much. We go to the top of the 5th inning. The Knights leading 3-2. And a change of pitchers for the Corvallis Knights with Caden Siegel. University of Portland going to work on the Cowlitz left-handed hitting Cody Estes. He swings at an 0-2 pitch, and it's a ground ball back at first. Quinn Dufort takes it to the bag himself. One away, and J.J. Kennett, who flied to right field, will be the batter. Cody Estes is 0 for 2, and now Caden Siegel in at the bump for the Knights. His father, the founder and CEO of the Corvallis Knights. It's been such a great family experience for the Seagulls through the years. Caden delivers a first pitch strike, 0-1 the count to J.J. Kennett. The 0-1 pitch to J.J. misses low, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. We're mentioning Kennett out of the outstanding program at Dallas Baptist. J.J. swings and misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out, 3-2 Knights in the top of the 5th inning. The quick working Caden Siegel picking up for Tyner Horn. Rocks, kicks, and delivers. Fastball, swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 down. J.J. Kennett out of DBU, which went to its first regional in 2008. I think became a D1 program around 04 or 05 and got good quickly. DBU, an NCAA regional in 08, a super regional in 2011, a regional in 12, missed 2013, and have made 10 consecutive regionals in their program at Dallas Baptist, and defeated the Beavers both in 2015 and in 2021 in regional play. Outstanding program through the years. Dylan Schlegel takes the first pitch from Caden outside. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed. And the count 1-1. Dylan 0 for 2. 2 outs, nobody on in the 5th. 3-2 Knights. All 3 runs for the Knights in the first inning. Cowlitz getting 2 last inning. Caden trying to face the minimum. Delivers a breaking ball down and away and retire the side in order. 2 balls and a strike. Things begin to cool a little bit. Still some patches of sunshine for Kevin Takeuchi and Brandon Cabrera. The pitch is hit foul over my head and over the McGrath family press box into Urchin Alley. The Urchins give quick chase. Those baseballs don't last very long in the alley. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Off speed, a 1-hopper to short. Blake Wilson fields and throws to Quinn Dufort at first, and a nice 1-2-3 inning for Caden Siegel. He retires Cowlitz in order, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. The Knights 3, the Black Bears 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Left-hander Alex Buchanan, who survived kind of a shaky 4th inning, left the Knights, though, wanting, leaving the bases loaded. The Knights came up empty, so a good job, all things considered, by Buchanan. Alex goes to work now on Quinn Dufort. Quinn will be followed by Tyler Howard and then Peyton Miller. Quinn, a 2-run single in the first, struck out in his last at-bat. Buchanan to the plate, first ball swinging. Dufort a 2-hopper to the first baseman, Andy Allenson. Tosses a little high to Buchanan covering, but Alex goes up to get it and puts his foot on the bag just ahead of Dufort. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. 3-2 Knights. Tyler Howard has flied to right and walked. He comes to the plate. When you visit Corvallis to catch Knights baseball, we encourage you to stay at your locally owned Best Western Corvallis. Howard shows bunt and takes a strike. Best Western Corvallis, your official hotel partner of the Knights, close to Goss, with the largest hotel rooms in the city and an outdoor heated pool. Wherever life takes you, Best Western is there. The strike 1 pitch, missing down and in to Tyler Howard. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out, bases empty. 3-2 Knights in the bottom of the 5th inning. Buchanan back to the plate. Just outside with the breaking ball. 2-1 the count. I mentioned Brooks Hatch keeping an eye not only on Pie Trainer's old numbers, but Stephen Kwan's tonight. 1 for 5. For Cleveland in the Guardians' 10-8 win over Baltimore. Howard hits a tapper slowly to short. Fielding it is Mendez, and he throws across to first for out number 2. And the batter will be Peyton Miller. 4 straight retired by Buchanan since his hit batsman loaded the bases. Quaney and Adley together, I was told, I think it was by B.G. Gould, the legend in Medford, telling me yesterday that the MLB Network was showing Stephen Kwan and Adley Rutschman visiting with one another at Oriole Park at Camden Yards before yesterday's game. with the teammates and national champions from the 2018 Oregon State club chopping it up before the ball game. And I dare say some Oregon State reminiscences would have come into that conversation. The pitch missing to Peyton Miller, ball 1-0. 2 down, nobody on. Peyton shows bunt and takes high, ball 2. Peyton's been hit by a pitch and flied to right. Well, Cleveland and the Guardians got the best of Adley and the Orioles today, winning 10-8. Adley went 1 for 5. Both former Corvallis Knights, Stephen Kwan and Adley Rutschman. Former Knight Mitch Haniger did not play. Tampa Bay beat the Mariners today 11-3. The 2-0 pitch to Peyton Miller misses inside for ball 3, 3-0. 3-2 Knights, bottom of the 5th inning, a doubleheader tomorrow getting underway at 5 o'clock. Buchanan back to the plate, the 3-0 pitch. A strike, and the count 3-1. No giveaway pitches has never been more underscored for me than in the last couple of years, where 3-0 pitches are not automatic fastballs down the middle anymore. The 3-1 pitch hit sharply back up the middle to the left of Mendez, makes a nice play from behind the bag and throws to first to retire the side. Nice job by the shortstop, Jonathan Mendez, on a ball well struck back up the middle, and the Knights are gone in order in the 5th. We go to the 6th in game 1 of this 4-game series. It remains the Knights 3 and Cowlitz 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette Times community. Fans looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Keaton Grady, Sergio DiCello, and Shea Bowen, the hitters for Cowlitz in the top of the 6th. 3-2 Knights. The first pitch fouled back by Keaton Grady. Caden Siegel, who retired the side in order last inning, comes back 0-1, and Grady fouls that one to the left and out of play. 0-2 to Keaton, who drew the leadoff walk in the 4th against Tyner Horn and scored the first of 2 runs to draw the Black Bears to within a run. The strike 2 pitch missing away, ball 1, 1-2. Caden to the plate. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. 1 away, 4 straight set down by Caden Siegel since coming out of the bullpen to take over for Tyner Horn. Sergio DiCello, the batter, has grounded to first and flied to right. Talking about the Longview area being a rich baseball country, Wes Stock was born in Longview. Wes was part of the Baltimore Orioles rotation in the early 60s, maybe even part of the Baby Birds. I'd have to go back and clarify that. DiCello takes a strike. The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. Good breaking ball from Caden. But a coach with the Mariners for many years. Rick Sweet hit his last major league home run as a member of the Mariners in 1983 at the Kingdome. A 2-hopper to second, fielded by Peyton Miller. He throws to first to Quinn Dufort, and Siegel doing an excellent job. Caden out of the pen has retired all 5 batters that he's faced. 2 down, nobody on. Shea Bowen will be the hitter. Shea is hit back to the box and then doubled over the head of left fielder Kevin Takeuchi to drive in Cowlitz's first run in the fourth. He swings and misses, does Bowen here. No balls and 1 strike. Caden Siegel comes back. Shea takes, low and in. 1 ball and 1 strike to Shea Bowen. Fastball on the inside corner, knee high. Good pitch. 1-2 the count. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Changeup lifted to left center field and playable. Brandon Cabrera moves over a few steps to make the catch, and Caden Siegel doing great work out of the pens. Phase 6, retired 6. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It remains the Knights 3 and Cowlitz 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Knights leading by a score of 3-2. Flynn McGahan is the new pitcher for Cowlitz, 6-foot, 225-pounder. From across the river from Mecca, according to Jack Connolly, his not completely inappropriate description of. I mean, it has that kind of feel. A promised land kind of feel, to be sure. Omaha. But this right-hander coming in is from across the river in Council Bluffs at Iowa Western Community College. But he hails from a long way, even further than that, coming to the United States to play baseball from Perth. And the right-hander goes to work, and Flynn's first pitch misses to Brandon Cabrera inside, ball 1. Brandon Cabrera, Blake Wilson, and Kevin Takeuchi. Bottom of the 6th, 3-2 Knights. Flynn McGahan to the plate. A strike, and the count 1-1. One ball and 1 strike the count. Brandon Cabrera leading things off for the Knights here in the bottom of the 6th, who scored 3 in the first but have been shut down since, not without some threats. They were retired in order in the 5th inning by Alex Buchanan. The pitch missing, and the count 1-2 to Brandon Cabrera. Brandon is flied to right, sacrificed, and grounded to third. McGahan's 1-2 pitch, a one-hopper to short, fielded by Mendez, whirls around and throws out Cabrera, 1 away. Mendez has flashed a nice glove here tonight at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Mendez out of the University of California, Santa Barbara, and has looked good. One away, and Blake Wilson will be the batter. Mendez had a very big year for Coach Checketts and was a member of the All Santa Barbara Regional hosted by the Gauchos this past spring. And a good offensive season as well. Started 49 games at short and certainly shows it. The pitch to Blake Wilson, who's had a good ball game, is high and inside. Blake thought he might have been perhaps just gently grazed by that pitch, but no. Now the 1-0 fastball misses high for ball two. At least that appeared to be what Blake was asking the home plate umpire Isaac McAllister to consider. 2-0 to Blake. Single to right and scored in the first. Hit by a pitch in the second. Line to left in the fourth for a base hit. 2 for 2, trying to get the night started again. Takes the 2-0 pitch down and away for ball three. The Knights leaving 9 men on base through the first 4 innings, leaving the door open for Cowlitz to come back, and the Black Bears have to within a run after trailing 3-0 after 1. The 3-0 pitch is high and inside. Blake Wilson draws ball 4, a 4-pitch free pass. Kevin Takeuchi will come to the plate. Pape Material Handling keeps you moving, one step closer to home. The Knights and Pape Material Handling have teamed up in support of Community Outreach, Inc., a local nonprofit dedicated to helping people lead healthy and productive lives. And again, for every Knight stolen base, $15 apiece donated to Community Outreach, Inc. Our thanks to Pape Material Handling. Teamwork, process, impact, and opportunity, creating transformative pathways to life. A throw to first, and Blake Wilson back to the bag. Blake stole a base in the first inning, helping to fill the coffers of Community Outreach, Inc. in the process. The right-hander, McGahan, comes to the plate and delivers a strike. 0-1 the count. McGahan, 6 foot, 225-pound right-hander out of Perth. 0-1 to Kevin Takeuchi. Is fly to center, grounded to third, and single to right. 3-2 Knights, bottom of the 6th. Breaking ball down. The count 1-1 to Kevin Takeuchi. Backs out and has a look at Coach Brooke Knight in the third base box. Ed Nags coaching at first. Flynn McGahan ready, turns and fires to first. Good quick move, but getting back safely. Blake Wilson. Blake with his 4th stolen base in that first inning. He has the look of a guy who is trying to get ready to go again. Brooke Knight is not pleased. He thinks a balk move is being committed by Flynn McGahan, and walks out of the third base coaching box, palms upward, saying, "Aren't you seeing what I'm seeing?" He hopes to have at least planted the seed in the 2 umpires. Breaking ball misses high and inside, and the count 2 balls and a strike. So Brooke goes through the set of signs again. It's a good running count here if Blake Wilson is of a mind to, and we'll see if Brooke has put it in Blake's mind to go, man, go. 2 balls and a strike. McGahan delivers, no movement from Wilson, and the pitch is high for ball 3, 3-1. All you need is lots of speed, and the Sox go, said Terry Cashman in Talking Baseball about the White Sox and Bill Veeck's White Sox from 1959. We'll see if there's a little going right here from Blake Wilson. 3-1 the count with 1 out. Flynn McGahan ready. The runner does go, and the 3-1 pitch is pulled foul. And the count is full now to Takeuchi. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The passing of Willie Mays has led me back to some of my favorite haunts in terms of baseball literature through the decades. Roger Kahn's wonderful writings an essay called Willie's Song in his book, How the Weather Was. Also came across a piece on Beck. The 3-2 pitch not going. Blake Wilson banged into left field, base hit. Kevin Takeuchi with a 3-2 base hit to left field, his second hit. Wilson stops at second. Luke Lavin will be the hitter as the Knights try to extend the lead. They've been quiet since the first. And now in the bottom of the sixth, they have 2 on and 1 out for Luke, who has walked fly to center and been hit by a pitch. Roger Kahn was one of our great baseball writers. We've lost him recently, Roger Angel recently. Those two were the best, in my estimation, to write of the game and spanning so many decades of covering the game with elegance. The pitch on the way to Luke Lavin misses high, ball 1-0. The Boys of Summer is a classic in sports literature, but the shorter essays and the works that he did over the years about baseball and non-baseball subject, he has a wonderful essay called Encountering Frost, when he went to visit the great poet when Robert was nearing 90 years of age. The 1-0 pitch, missing high, ball 2. Kahn could write. No better writer than I've ever come across, sports or otherwise, who could wrap up essays, stories with some of the best rhetorical flourishes at the end of sentences. They're really good. He has a piece on Bill Veeck, William the Unconquerable, which is just spectacular. Time called. The pitching coach again making a trip out to the mound, Justin Parrish. With the Knights leading 3-2 and looking to add on here in the bottom of the sixth. Blake Wilson at second, Kevin Takeuchi at first. And in just, hearing myself talk, exercise and tedium if ever there was one, right? But just thinking about it, referring to Kahn and Angel, and I never felt as though my upbringing in the game and in the sport and reading the literature and lore of the sport was peculiar per se. My buddies and I talked baseball constantly and traded baseball cards and studied the backs of baseball cards and knew every lineup in the National and American leagues when there were only 20 teams there in the 60s. And so I know that everything is different, but I don't know, how much are the young fans of the game. I know there are plenty of them. Baseball's healthy, so it's just the changing nature of what it means to be a baseball fan. But I'm not sure any of these fellows would have ever heard of Roger Kahn and Roger Angel, but they would be better off reading them. They're wonderful writers who chronicle the history of the game. And they love this game, and they play it at a high level to be here in this league. I hope that it doesn't, in a sense, perish as the years and decades flow on. We need to have those books and those writers, I think, remembered. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1 to Luke Lavin. Fastball misses high, ball 3-1. There are a lot of camps going on at Oregon State University, and we are seeing the campers, the various sports, walking beyond the railroad tracks. There's women's basketball camps going on all over. Sydney Weiss is in town, one of the clinicians that Scott Ruick has brought in. No better teacher than Sid, I'm sure, for those youngsters. The pitch to Lavin, a fly ball to shallow left. Cody Estes is right there to make the catch. 2 down, and Kaysen Consarinia will be the hitter. The Knights have been, while I say quiet, they have since the first inning, scoring 3 runs but leaving 2. And save for last inning when they were retired in order, they've had a chance. And credit to Cowlitz pitching, the Black Bears, whether Moquin, Buchanan, and now he's hoping to be in that same mode, Flynn McGahan, the pride of Perth, hoping to get through a bit of a problematic inning without a run on the board. Consarinia hoping to execute a different plan. Takes the first pitch a bit high and inside, and Flynn asks, where did it miss? I mean, he was verbally and non-verbally proffering that question. Blake Wilson at second, Kevin Takeuchi at first, 2 down. 3-2 Knights, bottom of the 6th inning. McGahan to the plate. Breaking ball misses, and he's behind the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Thomas Ferraggiaro on deck. There is some activity going on in the bullpen back of the right-hander, a fellow right-hander throwing back of McGahan. The 2-0 pitch pulled foul outside of third, and the count 2-1. There was an article by Roger about Johnny Bench, JB the Great, I think it was called, and in the end, talked about in baseball the difficulty of the sport. He essentially broke it down. 1 swing out of 10 for a baseball player is successful. if success is defined as a hit. The 2-1 pitch just outside ball 3, 3-1. Now that was Roger just making sort of a ballpark estimate without the benefit of the instant communication, instant data tabulation that Bruce Coburn sings of. But that was his guess and just trying to figure out how a 300 hitter becomes a 300 hitter. Well, 1 out of 10 times he makes good contact. The runners go. The 3-1 pitch, a check swing slow roller towards Ed Nags. And the count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 2 out. And now the runners who were going 3-1 will automatically go now 3-2, with the Knights leading 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Kahn's conclusion was he knows of no other profession or sport where if you're successful at what your job requires 1 out of 10 times, you're at an elite level. That's how tough baseball is. And, I know 3 out of 10, but he's just saying it takes to get, generally speaking, it was his experience that 1 out of 10 swings produced a well-struck ball. 3 balls, and he may be right. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Blake Wilson and Kevin Takeuchi ready to go with 2 down. They do. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. The Knights have left 11 men on base through 6. Good work by right-hander Flynn McGahan coming out of the bullpen behind Alex Buchanan, who did a nice job, as did the starter Nate Moquin, who prevented this thing from getting out of hand early. And we've got ourselves a good ball game as we go to the 7th. At the end of 6, it remains the Knights 3 and Cowlitz 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 3 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. Cowlitz 2 runs, 2 hits, and no errors. The first pitch of the 7th inning from Caden Siegel produces a ground ball back at first that is ruled fair by base umpire Santiago de la Garza, and it went under the mitt of Quinn Dufort. It was kind of sprawling into foul territory to his left. Brooke Knight comes out to register a complaint believing that that should have been ruled a foul ball and not fair. But in this case, foul is fair, and occasionally fair is foul, as somebody once said. And in this case, it's a leadoff error on Quinn Dufort. I believe that Brooks Hatch charged Quinn with an error. That's a tough play to his left into foul territory, it appeared. But into second base goes Andy Allenson. Caden Siegel turns and makes a one-hop throw to Peyton Miller, breaking in to cover second on a pickoff attempt of Allenson. Andy into second on the two-base error. Nope, it will go as a double. Pardon me. A double for Andy Allenson. Would have been a tough error to be sure, but Dufort did go into his range and motion to try to pull that thing in, and the ball kind of fell under his glove. The 2-0 pitch, or a pitch, I should say, to Mendez, a strike. Jonathan has played outstanding defense tonight. The shortstop for the Black Bears with a tying run at second. A leadoff double for Andy Allenson. 0-1 the count. Mendez trying to move the runner. The strike one pitch hit foul towards the bleachers below the Omaha room, into those bleachers. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Andy Allenson, son of a outstanding major league catcher by the same name, gets his lead from second. The pitch to Mendez hit high and deep to left. Back on the ball goes Kevin Takeuchi, leaps up and I think made the catch. The Knights need to throw back to second. I think that ball was caught by Takeuchi and the runner didn't think so. Allenson went to third. The throw to second, safe. They said he tagged. The ball was caught and left. There's no way that Allenson was on the bag when the ball was caught. He left too soon, at least it appeared from here. But safe, says the base umpire. Allenson living a charmed life, the big man. First, a ball that may have been foul went for a double. Here, it looked like he left second prematurely. The Knights appealed immediately, and no. So, Andy Allenson gets to third. He's the tying run. Great catch by Takeuchi in left field. One away. Jaron Navarez, the batter. The Knights infield halfway. Navarez swings at Caden Siegel's first pitch and doesn't get it. 0-1 the count. Top of the 7th inning. 3-2 Knights. A tremendous catch by Takeuchi on the warning track, going up against the fence to take away an extra base hit from Jonathan Mendez. Allenson does pick up 90 feet. The strike one pitch missing down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jaron Navarez, who's popped to third and grounded to short. Caden Siegel out of the stretch. The 1-1 pitch in there for a strike, and the count 1-2. Caden would love to get a strikeout right here. The Knights have played their infield halfway through the sequence, with Allenson, the tying run, getting his lead. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Navarez with 1 out. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3, 2 down. Tremendous work by Caden Siegel. And the batter will be Cody Estes, who has struck out looking and grounded it to first. One of the things, and I hope to find this out at some point, because it's a name I don't see very often. But Sean Estes, the father of the current hitter Cody, a longtime major league pitcher, Cody swings and misses in the count 0-1. The bio I read online said that Sean is married to Nathalie, looks like Nathalie Evashevsky. The strike one pitch missing away in the count 1-1. Now, we have in our community some Evashevskys. It's a name you don't come across very often, but they live here in Corvallis, and I just wonder, could there be a relation there? The 1-1 pitch to Cody Estes, swung on and fouled back in the count 1-2. 3-2 Knights, top of the 7th inning. Cody has struck out and grounded to first. The tying run, Andy Allenson at third base with 2 down. Caden Siegel working out of the stretch, trying to get out of it with the lead. Delivers off speed and away. Ball 2, 2-2. Allenson, a leadoff double. Went to third after a great catch by Takeuchi and left. Still at third now with 2 down. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cody Estes. Siegel to the plate and misses. Low and inside, ball 3. 3-2. J.J. Kennett on deck. A doubleheader tomorrow. The Knights and Cowlitz, 5 o'clock for game 1. The high temperature expected tomorrow, 69 degrees. So we encourage you to get to the ballpark. Just dress a little more warmly. The 3-2 pitch lifted to left center field. On the move is Brandon Cabrera. He has a play. He has the baseball. The inning is over. Another great bit of work by Caden Siegel. No runs, a hit. The tying run left 90 feet away. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Knights 3 and Cowlitz 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1,150 the attendance tonight at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Thank you all for coming and for supporting Project Her. There was a 50-50 raffle. 50% of the proceeds going to continue the great work done by the Corvallis Clinics Foundation and Cancer Research through Project Her. And we appreciate all of those taking time tonight to share their messages and their stories and contributing to the continued great efforts. The Corvallis Clinic Foundation has committed over $1 million to medical programs which supports cancer patients, and tonight's game sponsorship brings attention to and raises funds for Project Her. And we hope that many of you contributed in your own way tonight. Project Her, help Enlightenment Resources is a comprehensive program available to all cancer survivors in Benton, Lynn, and Lincoln counties. Project Her provides awareness, education, and support for all patients from the time of diagnosis through survivorship. All services through Project Her are free of charge, and Project Her offers community members and cancer patients an array of educational, inspirational, and supportive resources, including mentorship, prepared meals, and community support groups. Our thanks again to the Corvallis Clinic Foundation tonight and all of your participation this evening. To the bottom of the 7th we go. The Knights leading 3-2. They've left 11 men on base through 6 innings. Thomas Ferraggiaro will lead things off against the new pitcher for Cowlitz. The right-hander's first pitch to Ferraggiaro, who has walked rounded to first and bounced into a force play, is outside, ball 1. Nick Silva out of Palmdale in Southern California kicks and delivers a bit high, ball 2, 2-0. Ferraggiaro, Quinn Dufort, and Tyler Howard for the Knights. Quinn Dufort, a 2-run single in the first inning. Kaysen Consarini had singled home a run earlier in the frame. for the Knights' only runs. The pitch on the way is in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ferraggiaro. The 2-1 pitch is slapped through the 6-hole into left field. Base hit by Ferraggiaro. Boy, Thomas handles the bat very well. Finds the holes and goes with pitches, hits behind the baseball. It's impressive to see. He gets a leadoff single, bringing Quinn Dufort to the plate. Ferraggiaro's numbers not necessarily robust through his first 7 games as a Knight coming in, but he looks good. He handles the bat well. And now Quinn Dufort, who does the same, steps in and takes low and inside, ball 1, 1-0. 3-2 Knights in the 7th. Dufort was showing bunt. Brooke Knight, the skipper, going through the signs at third. Ferraggiaro held on by Andy Allenson. And the 1-0 pitch. Dufort gets the bunt down, and it's a good one. The throw to first base is just in time. Nice play made by the catcher, J.J. Kennett, bouncing on it and throwing a strike to get Dufort. But the sacrifice works. 2-3. Good play by the catcher, Kennett. The Knights do have Ferraggiaro in scoring position for Tyler Howard, who was flied to right, walked, and grounded to short. The right-hander, Nick Silva, comes set. And the first pitch to Tyler misses high and inside, ball 1, 1-0. Ferraggiaro, a leadoff single. The Knights have 8 hits. Cowlitz with only 2, but it's just a 1-run affair here in the bottom of the 7th. Ferraggiaro's going to third. The pitch was in the turf, and the throw to third is not in time. Ferraggiaro picks up the stolen base. The catcher, Kennett, was talking to himself, and it looked like not necessarily kindly talk. Directed, I think, at himself for not either getting a better pitch or a better grip or throw down to try to nab Ferraggiaro, who gets in safely to third. The Black Bears pull their infield in. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1 to Tyler Howard. 3-2 Knights, bottom of the 7th inning. The infield of Andy Allenson, Keaton Grady, Jonathan Mendez, and Sergio DiCello all on the edge of the green. The pitch to Howard, whacked to center field. Coming on and trying to play it is Nick Schlegel. That goes beyond him, rolling all the way to the fence. Into scores Ferraggiaro. Howard getting to third. He'll be held there on a triple, and the Knights lead it 4-2. Dylan Schlegel making a mistake in terms of not so much, I mean, his effort was sound and admirable in trying to come in and close turf and make a play, but he allowed the ball to get by him on a hop. Well struck by Tyler Howard. And Howard with the triple getting Ferraggiaro home. Now Peyton Miller, the batter, 4-2 Knights. Peyton is plunked by the first pitch, a breaking ball. Hit by the pitch. That's twice tonight that Miller has taken his base, having been brushed by a pitch from a Cowlitz Black Bear pitcher. 2 on and 1 out for leadoff hitter Brandon Cabrera, with the Knights leading 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Cabrera has flied to right, sacrificed, grounded to third, and grounded to short. The Black Bears will play their infield at double play depth. Time is called. J.J. Kennett out for a conversation with Nick Silva. A doubleheader tomorrow. It gets underway at 5. The first game, a makeup game from June 2nd, when the Knights and Cowlitz were rained out at Story Field. The Knights will be the visiting team in that game 1. But that's a pretty good trade. The Knights won't be in Longview tomorrow as a visiting team. They'll be right here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 5 o'clock for the first game. Scheduled pitcher for the Corvallis Knights in game 1 of the series is Coulter McAnally. In game 2, Peyton Risky, the scheduled starter. James DeCramer, Oregon State bound, who was so dynamic in his start last Friday down in Springfield, will get his first start at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field and will begin to get used to the territory. He'll pitch for the Beavers, maybe even in the rotation next spring. 5 o'clock and roughly 7:30 tomorrow night. After a visit by the pitching coach Justin Parrish, who came out after J.J. Kennett went to the hill, a throw to first base, driving Miller back to the bag. First and third and 1 out. The Knights leading 4-2. The pitch to Brandon Cabrera. Fastball foul back. No balls and 1 strike. Tomorrow, and I'm not exactly sure all that this entails, but tonight there was and rightly so, I think a great deal of gravity, even solemnity, and thinking about Project Her and the Corvallis Clinic Foundation. And as well it should have been, that kind of mood in thinking and reflecting on those very serious matters. Well, tomorrow night, Napoleon Dynamite night at the ballpark. The strike 1 pitch. Laughter can indeed be the best medicine, and so I think we may engage in some of that tomorrow if we're celebrating the life of Napoleon Dynamite. The pitch missing high and inside. The count 1-1 to Brandon Cabrera. First and third, 1 out. There goes Miller. The pitch misses inside. They throw through. Miller started to slide a little early, but still gets in safely to second base. Kennett's throw went to the right field side of second, and a good catch made by the shortstop Jonathan Mendez. Miller did slide a little bit early and came up short, but the throw was offline enough that Miller was able to kind of complete his route to the bag. He gets a big lead out at second with the infield in. The 2-1 pitch is in there for a strike to Brandon Cabrera. 2-2 the count, with the Knights leading 4-2 and have a chance to deliver almost a knockout kind of punch right here, right now in the bottom of the 7th. Second and third, 1 out. The 2-2 pitch, chop foul over Brook Knight's head. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Tyler Howard, a triple. He's at third. Peyton Miller at second. And the infield in. Silva to the plate. The 2-2 pitch is fisted foul above the Omaha room and beyond. 2-2 the count. So Napoleon Dynamite night tomorrow. I'm not sure all that entails, but it's presented by Marsh McLennan Agency. And then Thursday night, a well-deserved night to be sure, it is Brook Knight night here at the ballpark on Thursday. The 10-time champion head coach of the Corvallis Knights, Brook Knight. The 2-2 pitch, punch foul towards the Omaha room again. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. This Friday night, Cascade Collegiate League in town. T-shirt giveaway night. This year's Corvallis Knights T-shirt giveaway. Baseball giveaway then on Saturday, presented by Horesco Chiropractic. 2-2 pitch, a check swing breaking ball taken down and away, ball 3. So things beginning to heat up, even though the temperatures will cool. The promotional schedule ramping up. A lot of big ones still ahead. Fireworks on July 3rd. Hope to see many of you here at the park. 4-2 Knights in the 7th. Oh, the 3-2 pitch came up and in on a swing, perhaps, by Brandon Cabrera, trying to get out of the way of a pitch that I think may have hit him in the cheek, in the face. And Michaela, the team trainer, comes out. Brook Knight and Ed Nags rush in, as does the home plate umpire, Isaac McAllister, looking on. Cabrera gets up. I'm a slightly concerned here that Cabrera could be called for a swing here on the 3-2 pitch, and that he may have struck out on it. The umpires are talking about what their ruling's going to be. Cabrera is being escorted into the Knights dugout by the team trainer, Michaela. I don't know if that was a foul tip or ruled a hit batter or check swing, but Cabrera has left the game. Brooke Knight and Ed Nags are talking with one another about their options. The home plate umpire, Isaac McAllister, I hope is not going to be the bearer of bad news and say that after talking to his partner, Santiago de la Garza, that they would rule that that was a swing and a miss and the ball came up and then hit Brandon on the face. I think Brandon got up and he walked off under his own power. Thank heaven, I think he's going to be okay. But that was a frightening pitch, riding up and in near his, it appeared to be near his left cheek or the chin. And Brooke Knight is continuing to talk things over with Isaac McAllister. It's not by any means a heated conversation. But Brooke, I don't know if they're giving an opportunity for Michaela to provide her ministrations and get Brandon back to the plate or take his base at first. I'm not sure what the ruling on the play was. I think they have called Brandon out swinging. He struck out. That is a tough out. Brandon is, and I fear that might be the case, and I can see out at second base, Peyton Miller with his palms up and like, what are they calling? What happened? Miller, the runner at second, like, what? After that, you're going to call the guy out for swinging? Well, he may have gone around. I remember Pat Casey getting booed and jeered in Charlottesville back in 2007 in the regional that the Beavers won en route to their second national championship. Breaking ball to Blake Wilson, misses high. There are two down now. There was a frightening moment similar to this where a Virginia Cavalier player got hit, but on a similar type play. Yeah, he got hit by a pitch, no question, but had he offered? Had he made a commitment on the pitch? And now Blake Wilson is drilled by Nick Silva and heads down to first. And fans are getting a little antsy. Another hit batter with Wilson down, and this is after Cabrera was hit by a pitch and struck out. Then a hit batter for Wilson, and so I don't think there's anything in the works here. I just think Silva's lost a little bit of command of the zone. He has hit 2 in the inning. The Knights have been hit 5 times in the game, so there is that. The bases are loaded and 2 down, and Kevin Takeuchi 2 for 4, the batter. And that may be the end of the line for Nick Silva with head coach Kelly Stinnett heading out to the mound, and he's had a right-hander working in the bullpen. In Charlottesville in 07, the Cavaliers had a player in a similar situation to Cabrera get hit, and he was down on his back for a long time. And either at the end of the play or as the long conference was going on, Pat Casey came out to essentially argue that the Virginia hitter had done what Brandon Cabrera had done, namely in self-defense trying to get out of the way of a pitch, had made an attempt or had swung at the pitch in question. And Pat was only doing his job, fighting for his team and fighting for the right call. It's not as though Pat, who's one of the kindest and most compassionate and gracious of men I've ever known, did not, he was certainly worried about the well-being of the kid, but he also he was fighting for his team in that regional. And boy, did he get booed. He got booed, and the announcer down the hall in the small press box we were in began to talk about how can you believe the classlessness of Pat Casey coming out and their coach to ask about this in this moment? And I heard that through my headset, and hearing anybody dare to suggest that Pat Casey was classless, or the headset came off and it was something like, "How dare you talk about Pat Casey So the broadcast, the Virginia announcer and yours truly yelling back and forth at each other in the booth in Charlottesville. Good times. Now, a new pitcher comes into the ball game, and we're going to keep things right here. The Knights with the bases loaded, leading 4-2. And by the way, everything worked out just well in that regional. Beavers beat Virginia, came home, beat Michigan, went to Omaha, went 5-0, and won their second straight national championship. Good times indeed. We've got a new pitcher in for Cowlitz. It's Calvin Prosky with an E, so we don't have the great character actor Robert Prosky without the E and doing so well as the judge in The Natural, written up by Bernard Malamud right here on this campus when Bernard was a writing instructor 1949 to 1961 at Oregon State College and wrote The Natural about 100 yards from where I sit. So the new pitcher is Calvin Prosky. Calvin out of UC Santa Barbara, Oak Park, California, has completed his warm-up tosses. And Kevin Takeuchi with some emotions running a little bit high here. I think puzzlement on behalf of Peyton Miller out at second about the Brandon Cabrera play. 2 hit batters in the inning. Brandon Cabrera leaving the ball game. At least we'll see. I mean, if he's ready to go and can keep playing center field after leaving the game, he struck out, so it's not as though they were taking him out. The umpires had construed that he struck out, so Cabrera is still eligible to play. Kevin Takeuchi will be the hitter with the bases loaded and 2 down. The Knights leading 3-2. Prosky making just his second appearance with Cowlitz. And ready to go with the sacks full, and the first pitch fastball misses just outside, ball 1, 1-0. Prosky made 8 appearances for Andrew Checketts this past spring. Oak Park, Illinois, not California, comes to the plate, breaking ball low, ball 2, 2-0. 8 appearances for an outstanding Gauchos team from Oak Park, Illinois, but came west to play his college baseball for Coach Checketts. The 2-0 fastball just outside, ball 3, 3-0 to Kevin Takeuchi. 4-2 Knights, bottom of the 7th, bases loaded, 2 down. Out of the stretch works Prosky. The 3-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 3-1. Tyler Howard at third, Peyton Miller at second. Blake Wilson at first. The 3-1 pitch, a one-hopper, backhanded by Mendez. He throws to second for the force, and the inning is over. And boy, this is a frustrating night for the Corvallis Knights. Brooke Knight is very upset now with the second base umpire, Santiago de la Garza, saying his foot was way off the bag, that the second baseman in stretching, Keaton Grady, to receive the throw from Mendez was way off the bag. That was Brooks' indication. So a frustrating night for the Knights. They do add to their lead by scoring a run, but they leave 3 more and have left 14. And we go to the 8th. Good play by Mendez again. He's really wielded the leather impressively tonight. We go to the 8th. It's the Knights 4 and Cowlitz 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Looking for the latest news that you can trust? Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, Enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette Times community.
We go to the top of the 8th inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights leading 4-2, but have left 14 men on base and thus have left the door open for Cowlitz to still think itself, and they are very viable and alive in the ballgame. A new pitcher for the Knights, Gabe Hernandez, takes over for Caden Siegel. Caden with 3 strong innings of work. Tyner Horn pitched the first 4 and looked good. And now the first pitch from Gabe Hernandez is in there for a strike as he begins his outing in the 8th against J.J. Kennett. C.J. Collier does take over for Brandon Cabrera out in center. The strike 1 pitch is foul back, and the count quickly to J.J. 0-2. Kennett is flied to right and struck out. 4-2 Knights, top of the 8th inning. 4 runs, 9 hits for the Knights. 2 runs, 2 hits for Cowlitz. Breaking ball, check swing foul at the plate. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes to J.J. Dylan Schlegel, the leadoff hitter, on deck, followed by Keaton Grady. As the Knights try to take another step closer to clinching the first half title. 27-game halves. Breaking ball foul back. The Knights starting the night at 17-3. 3.5 games up on the Pickles, and if you do win the first half, you automatically get home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs, no matter what would unfold in the next 27 games. No balls and 2 strikes to Kennett, leading things off for Cowlitz in the 8th. The strike 2 pitch is drilled into left center field. Moving over to cut it off is Kevin Takeuchi. He fires back in and holds Kennett to a long single. But all of the opportunistic pitching by the Cowlitz hurlers tonight, their clutch pitching, making pitches when it counts, have given every reason for Kelly Stinnett and the Black Bear team to think they can still win this ball game. It's a 4-2 Knights lead, yes, but time after time the Knights it's felt like they've been a base hit away from kind of breaking the thing open. Cowlitz has not allowed that to happen. Dylan Schlegel, the batter, after just the 3rd hit of the evening for the Black Bears. Schlegel takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Dylan has grounded to third, struck out looking, and grounded to short. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1 fastball very high. 1-1 the count to Schlegel. Gabe Hernandez on for the Corvallis Knights in the 8th, the first of a 4-game series. Swings and slices one to deep right field. Kaysen Concerina going back to the warning track, makes the catch and turns and fires a 1-hop strike back in, 1 away. Good job by Kaysen getting the right read and hustling over to make the grab. That's the thing that has been, and I'm sure many of you have seen, the most impressive thing about the catch in 54 was Willie's throw and the fact that he had the intelligence at that moment. Yeah, he raced about 50, 60 yards to go catch the ball off the bat of Vic Wirtz. But as soon as he caught it, he whirled around and threw a strike and prevented Larry Doby, a fast runner, from scoring from second, keeping the Giants in command of that ball game, and they went on to sweep. Keaton Grady takes a strike. The 0-1 pitch swung on and rolled slowly foul in front of the Knights dugout. The count to Keaton quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Keaton has popped to short, walked and scored, and struck out. 4-2 Knights in the 8th. Schlegel, by the way, another player from the Dallas Baptist program and a 17th round pick by the Red Sox last spring. Good player. A throw to first. Back to the bag dives Keaton Grady. Schlegel then redshirted this past spring with Dallas Baptist, but figures to be a key contributor for the Patriots going forward. No balls and 2 strikes to Grady. Hernandez delivers a ground ball into right field for a base hit. Concerina comes up firing. Good-looking arm. Throws a strike in to Blake Wilson. Stopping at second base on the play was J.J. Kennett. And an opportunity now for the Cowlitz Black Bears. 2 on, the tying runs on here in the top of the 8th. 9 hits for the Knights, but only 4 runs to show for them. And Cowlitz trying to rise up late, back-to-back, or 2 hits in the inning, I should say, with 1 out. And the go-ahead run, Sergio Gicello at the plate, is grounded to first, fly to right, and grounded to second. Hernandez comes set. Gabe, the team leader in appearances, making his 9th of the season, has worked 14 2/3, misses outside. 10 hits, just 3 runs, 3 earned, 4 walks, 13 strikeouts, a record of 2-1, an ERA of 1.84. So he's been very good, but he's given up a couple of hits here. And now a slicing fly ball down the left field line, a sliding attempt on the warning track by Kevin Takeuchi. Not able to catch it, but a good effort by Kevin. And that evens the count to Gicello. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two on and 1 out in the 8th. Another good ball game. And we've got 2 of them for you tomorrow, 5 o'clock and 7:35. We'll have both right here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. The 1-1 pitch on the way. That's hit foul. Waldo away towards Waldo Hall, and the count 1-2. J.J. Kennett at second, conversing with Knight shortstop Blake Wilson as J.J. gets his lead. Keaton Grady from first. Gabe Hernandez, the third pitcher of the night for the Knights, comes set. Gabe to the plate. A ground ball back up the middle into center field for a base hit. Kennett will score. Stopping at second base is Keaton Grady, and it's once again a 1-run ball game. The Knights 4 and Cowlitz 3. 3 hits in the inning. And it's felt as though, as Brooke Knight heads out to the mound, probably to make a pitching change, it has felt as though you're tempting whomever the baseball gods may be, if such things exist. You're by leaving 14 men on. It's as though those powers say, you're going to pay a price for that at some point. So just 1 little inning now of resurgence for Cowlitz. 3 hits in the inning, and it's suddenly a 1-run game again. And Hernandez, who has been excellent for the Knights thus far in 2024, doesn't quite have the usual stuff tonight, gives up 3 hits and comes out. So we've got a pitching change break. We'll take a 2-minute break to do so. It looks like big Grant Clevenger coming in. A little bit of a Nebraska feel to the night. A starter, Nebraska, and now Clevenger comes in, also from Lincoln. 4-3, 2 on, 1 out, a 2-minute pitching change break. Back after this on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Left-hander Grant Clevenger out of Nebraska. I don't think his mom, Amy, is still here. Amy saw some of the action last week and was in Springfield over the weekend. Runners go. A throw goes down to second base, not third. A double steal, and everybody's safe, and I thought Howard's best chance was to try to go to third. He must have been told that he had no shot there. But a double steal on a first-pitch strike to Shea Bowen gives Cowlitz a chance to take the lead on a base hit here in the eighth. Runners at second and third and one out. The Knights play their infield at normal depth. The strike one pitch from Grant misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to the left-hand hitting Shea Bowen with a double steal executed by Cowlitz to put runners at second and third and 1 out. Fastball in there from Grant for a strike, and the count 1-2. Big moment for Clevenger and the Knights right here. Grant making his 5th appearance. He has 9 strikeouts through 4 innings of work. The big southpaw out of Nebraska delivers. Fastball swung out and missed. Strike 3, 2 down. Well, he blew it by the left-hand hitting Shea Bowen. And coming to the plate will be Andy Allenson, who has struck out twice and then doubled down the right field line to begin last inning. Second and third, 2 down. Clevenger to the plate. Fastball high, ball 1. 1-0. Andy Allenson getting an opportunity here to deliver a clutch 2-out hit and give his team the lead. 4-3 Knights in the eighth. The 1-0 pitch, pounded foul at the plate. It took a while for the home plate umpire to call it foul. And the Knights players were not going after the ball with great alacrity. And finally, both umpires said, no, that's a dead ball, that's a foul ball. But they were a little slow on the uptick there. And the Knights players knew it was foul. We kind of all knew it was foul, but without a foul ball being called, the Knights players needed to play on and make a play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Andy Allenson. Keaton Grady at third, Sergio DiCello at second. Clevenger to the plate. Fastball way outside. Ball 2, 2-1. 4-3 Knights in the top of the eighth inning. Clevenger works out of the stretch with runners at second and third. The big lefty out of Lawrence, Kansas, comes set and comes to the plate. Fastball foul back, and he's a strike away. I was surprised when I asked Grant recently how many times he'd seen his elder brother Garrett pitch in the major leagues in person. He said one other time. He's going to get a chance here in a few days. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. A 1-run Knights lead, 4-3, top of the eighth inning. Clevenger set, the 2-2 pitch, very high. Ball 3, 3-2. Tried to throw a breaking ball 2-2, and it stayed up. His fastball's been hot here tonight. We'll see if he tries to come back and get Allenson with another heater. The 3-2 pitch on the way. He does. Fastball got him swinging, and the inning is over. Tyler Howard pumps his fist exultantly. The receiver of the excellent fastball from Clevenger, who does an outstanding job coming out of the bullpen to strike out Shea Bowen and Andy Allenson. And the Cowlitz Black Bears draw closer, but we go to the bottom of the eighth with the Knights still in front. The Knights 4 and Cowlitz 3 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the 8th inning, Willie Mays oriented Diamond Trivia questions. That was nice to see up on the scoreboard out in right field, presented by Olafson Designs. 4-3, the Knights in the bottom of the 8th. Luke Lavin leading things off against the Cowlitz Black Bears right-hander Calvin Prosky. The first pitch from Calvin missing for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch is in the turf. 2 balls and no strikes to Luke. Bottom of the 8th, 4-3 Knights. Lavin takes the 2-0 pitch. Low and inside from Prosky. Ball 3. Luke Lavin, Kaysen Consarinia, and Thomas Ferraggiaro, the scheduled hitters for the Knights. 3-0 to Lavin. Fastball for a strike from Prosky. 3-1 the count. Prosky back with a 3-1 pitch, and Lavin ropes it to right field. Base hit. Shea Bowen gets the baseball back in. Nice swing by Luke, who heretofore had walked and scored, flied to center, been hit by a pitch, and flied to left. We'll see a runner now for Luke Lavin. Tai Yukamoto will run for Luke. Kaysen Consarinia is the batter, and we'll see how Brooke Knight wants to play it here. My guess is he's going to ask Kaysen to move tie up with Thomas Ferraggiaro on deck. The Knights seeking a little bit of insurance to take with them to the top of the 9th inning. And so that would seemingly call for a bunt attempt here by Consarinia. Kaysen has 1 sacrifice hit on the season. The Knights have 16 through their first 20 games. We'll see if indeed that's the stratagem deployed here by Brooke Knight. Kaysen is bunting. He bunts it up along third. DiCello's play is to first base, and not wasting any time. Nicely done by Consarinia. Sacrifice 5-3, sending Yukamoto to second. Kaysen previously an RBI single in the first, a base hit in the third, had struck out in his last 2 at-bats. And now coming to the plate will be Thomas Ferraggiaro, who walked in his first plate appearance, has since grounded into a force play, and singled to left. Thomas with a huge RBI opportunity right here in the bottom of the 8th, with the Knights leading 4-3. Calvin Prosky to the plate. The breaking ball from Calvin misses high, ball 1, 1-0. The switch hitting Ferraggiaro trying to pick up the pinch runner, Tai Yukamoto from second. Takes just outside, ball 2, 2-0. Yukamoto hopping away from second. The 2-0 pitch slapped off the end of the bat wide of third. Fielded by Sergio DiCello. Throws to third. Yukamoto breaks for third and gets in there safely. So a nice job by Yukamoto with DiCello ranging wide to his left. DiCello looked Yukamoto back to the bag at second, but as soon as Sergio delivered the throw to first, Yukamoto broke and makes it in safely to third. Ferraggiaro thrown out. And now Coulter McAnally, the batter, and Coulter looks at a breaking ball strike, the count 0-1. McAnally, the scheduled starter in game 1 of the doubleheader tomorrow. 2 down. Yukamoto at third. The strike 1 pitch is on the corner to McAnally. And the count 0-2. Quinn Dufort had previously been in the 7th hole and had a 2-run single back in the first. 4-3 Knights in the 8th. Strike 2 pitch is swung on and missed. For strike 3, the inning is over. Only 1 left on for the Knights here in the 8th, but Yukamoto left in scoring position. The Knights have left 15 through 8, but they hope that they've done enough to win nevertheless. They're 3 outs away. Grant Clevenger will go to the bump and try to finish the save opportunity. To the 9th we go at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights 4 and Cowlitz 3 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
We want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette Times community.
Top of the 9th inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights 4, Cowlitz 3. Jonathan Mendez, Jaron Navarez, and Cody Estes, the scheduled hitters against Knights left-hander Grant Clevenger, who came on to strike out 2 last inning and goes to work in the 9th with a fastball swung on and missed by Jonathan Mendez. 0-1 the count. Mendez has played great defense tonight. He's walked, been aboard on an error, and fly deep to left on a great catch by Kevin Takeuchi. The strike 1 fastball, foul back. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Top of the 9th inning, 4-3 Knights. Clevenger back to the plate with a strike 2 fastball. That's hit foul off to the right and out of play. Oh and 2 to Jonathan Mendez, leading things off for Cowlitz in the top of the 9th inning. The Knights trying to take game 1 of 4. Clevenger has struck out the first 2 batters that he's faced, delivers the 0-2 pitch high. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Clevenger has been throwing a blazing fastball. We'll see what he does. 1-2. There it is. Fastball just missed. And the count 2-2. Pretty close, but Mendez still up there. 2 balls and 2 strikes, leading things off in the top of the 9th inning against Knights lefty Grant Clevenger. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball, a check swing, on appeal, no swing, says the base umpire Santiago de la Garza. And the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The last thing in the world Clevenger wants is a free pass to lead off the inning. He was ahead of the count, 0-2 on Mendez, and has now fallen behind 3-2. The home plate umpire, Isaac McAllister, appears to be making some sort of note about something. What about, I don't know. Clevenger trying to make sure he doesn't lose Mendez. The left-hander's 3-2 pitch. Fastball taken outside. Ball 4, and he did lose him. And now the game, it just tightens up considerably. Kelly Stinnett is going to make a move and go to a pinch hitter in Noah Malone here in the top of the 9th inning for the Cowlitz Black Bears, who get their leadoff man aboard via a free pass after Grant Clevenger had an 0-2 count on Mendez. As we try to determine the Washington Park Advisors player of the game, looking at various options here, my sense would either be Clevenger if he finishes out the inning and gets the save here. If he doesn't, then we may have to wait and see who comes through in an extra inning kind of affair. I'm giving this information to Taylor, who's asking who we've got. The first pitch crosses up Tyler Howard. Howard was looking for something else, got crossed up by it, did not catch the pitch. It goes off his mitt to the backstop on a pass ball, but Tyler was looking for something else. It was a breaking ball. He must have been looking for something else. It goes as a pass ball, enabling the tying run to go to second. And out to the mound goes Tyler Howard now to try to get on the same page with Clevenger. So it's a little too early to tell. If it's not Grant, it could be Quinn Dufort, who has a 2-run single and a sacrifice that led to another run. But if Cowlitz comes back and ties this game, and then the Knights go on to win it in a walk-off fashion later. So it's too early, I guess, what I'm saying, Taylor, right now to tell you. She was standing here adjacent to the press box looking, and there's too much of the tale yet to be told. The 1-0 pitch is ball 2, 2-0. And unfortunately for Grant, I thought that when Taylor came to ask who, I was about to say, well, it's going to be this kid right here, Grant, again. The last time he won that distinction was in a game the Knights lost 6-0, but he struck out the side and was the lone bright spot in the game. The 2-0 pitch swung on and fouled back. He has some serious work to do here to try to ensure himself of a second Washington Park Advisors player of the game, namely get out of this situation with the Knights ahead 4-3, but the tying run at second with nobody out in the top of the ninth. 2-1 to the pinch hitter, Noah Malone. Grant comes set, and the lefty's 2-1 pitch, high and away for ball 3, 3-1. Cody Estes, the on-deck hitter. The Knights scored 3 runs in the first and have had numerous chances to extend the lead, pull away, and have not been able to do so. They've left 15 men on base through their 8 trips to the plate. They hope that there isn't a ninth. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Coach Stinnett, I think, is asking for time. I'm not sure what about and why. A 14-year Major League catcher knows much more about the game than I ever will. But he's asking, I don't know if he's expecting maybe a pitch clock violation to be called against Clevenger, whether he's trying to get in Grant's head a little bit here now about the next pitch coming. I'm not sure what. Noah Malone's the batter. Grant Clevenger, it has been a little bit more methodical and deliberate here, and I don't know if this Stinnett was arguing for a delay of or a pitch clock violation. Delay of game is football nomenclature, but that's kind of where we are in the modern era. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Grant, after all of that, comes set, glances back at the tying run and delivers, and the fastball is fouled off the glass of the McGrath family press box to my left. That's durable glass. And the window held up, protecting Maddie and our public address announcer in the booth to my left tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Top of the 9th inning. 4-3 Knights. Grant Clevenger tried to keep it that way, but Jonathan Mendez is at second with nobody out. Clevenger out of the stretch. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball hit off the facade of the McGrath family press box, bounding back towards the fans. And that's 2 shots that you don't see very often. 2 in a row going off of the press box. 1 off the window and 1 off the overhanging roof. Clevenger will try it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 4-3 Knights in the 9th. Nobody out. The tying run at second. Grant's 2-2 pitch taken down and in on the breaking ball. And the count goes full to 3-2. The Knights ask the home plate umpire, Isaac McAllister, to ask. Santiago de la Garza says no swing. 3-2 to the pinch hitter, Noah Malone, in the top of the 9th inning. Clevenger ready. The 3-2 pitch, very high. Ball 4. So, Brooke Knight will make a pitching change here. And with Clevenger, after striking out the side, not the side, but striking out the 2 batters that he faced when coming on in a clutch situation last inning, was ahead 0-2 on the first batter that he faced here in the 9th, and Jonathan Mendez. Lost him. Issues a 3-2 pitch, ball 4 to Noah Malone. And a great opportunity here now for Cowlitz to take advantage of the Knights' inability to put this thing away earlier. 2 on and nobody out in the top of the 9th inning in a 1-run ball game. We'll take a 2-minute pitching change break as Coach Stinnett dips into his bench and Brooke Knight goes to the bullpen. 2-minute pitching change break in the top of the 9th inning. The Knights 4, Cowlitz 3. 2 on, nobody out in the 9th when we return after 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. The pride of McMinnville and the University of Portland, Kai Hoskinson inherits a very challenging situation here in the top of the 9th inning, with the Knights leading the Cowlitz Black Bears 4-3. But Cowlitz on back-to-back walks have 2 on and nobody out. The tying run at second, represented by Jonathan Mendez. The go-ahead run at first, represented by Noah Malone. A pinch hitter called upon by head coach Kelly Stinnett of the Black Bears, Carter Monda, to pinch hit for Cowlitz here in the top of the 9th inning. Monda at .231 with 3 runs batted in. Now Kai Hoskinson is making his 8th appearance. 10 1/3 innings, 13 hits, 5 earned, 11 walks, 6 strikeouts, a record of 1-0, and an ERA of 4.35. So control has been a bit of an issue for Kai, and he comes in behind a guy that had walked 2 straight. We'll see if we have a potential bunt situation here by Monda. My friend Ed Sinclair writing earlier today to my own text line that when Kai Hoskinson comes into the ball game, we should be reminded that Kai's parents met in 1990 in Poling Hall here on campus, and Kai's first love was tackle football. But he's always loved anything in sports, but has deep Oregon State roots. The wheel play is on and a throw to second. The Knights trying to get a little bit of deception. Peyton Miller falls into the tying run. Jonathan Mendez at second base. But the Knights putting a wheel play on, hoping to pull Mendez, the runner, with the shortstop Blake Wilson racing to third, and then a back pick attempt on the part of Kai Hoskinson. And all that Peyton Miller and the runner Mendez got was a bit of a tumbling into one another out at the bag at second. We play on. We'll see if the Knights put the wheel on. They don't. The first pitch, breaking ball, strike from Hoskinson. 0-1 the count. A late show of bunt by the pinch hitter Carter Munda. No balls and one strike. Tyler Howard offers defensive signals in front of the plate. A lot going on here in the top of the ninth inning. A 4-3 Knights lead in the cool of the evening breeze. Slight breezes blowing out to left center. Carter Munda, the pinch hitter for Cody Estes, with 2 on and nobody out. Again, the wheel is on. A turn and a bluff to second. A disengagement, no balk. The Cowlitz Black Bear fans were all arguing that for a balk, but the pitcher, in this case Hoskinson, had stepped off the rubber, turned and made no throw to second, but he had stepped off. No balls and one strike. Meanwhile, to Carter Munda in a very busy, so far just one pitch plate appearance. 2 on and nobody out. The strike one pitch, breaking ball up, and Munda was not bunting. 1 ball and 1 strike. Coach Stinnett, 14-year major league catcher, going through the signs at third. The tying run, Jonathan Mendez at second base, Noah Malone at first, nobody out. The 1-1 pitch, now the bunt is on, and it's bunted foul by Munda, back of the plate, and the count 1-2. J.J. Kennett on deck. Top of the ninth inning. 4-3 Knights. Back-to-back walks have opened the door for Cowlitz to complete a comeback. They trailed 3-0 after 1. Drawing closer throughout the evening. Now in the ninth, the tying run at second with nobody out. The 1-2 pitch rolled foul outside of third, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Carter Munda, getting the pinch hit opportunity here in the top of the ninth inning. Carter out of northern Colorado. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball got him swinging. 1 away. A big out for Kai Hoskinson. 1 gone. J.J. Kennett, the batter. Munda, the pinch hitter, out of Evergreen High School in Vancouver, began his collegiate career at Clark College, now in Greeley. J.J. Kennett at the plate. The first pitch from Hoskinson, sliced down the right field line in the corner, foul. No balls and a strike to J.J. Jonathan Mendez at second, Noah Malone at first. J.J. Kennett, who has flied to right, struck out and singled to left at the plate. 0-1 to J.J. Dylan Schlegel on deck. The Knights clinging to a 4-3 lead in the top of the ninth inning. Out of the stretch works Hoskinson. Kai to the plate. Slider a little bit high. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Two walks in the inning have created all manner of possibilities now for the visiting Cowlitz Black Bears in the first of this 4-game series, a doubleheader tomorrow. The 1-1 breaking ball, a fly ball to right center field and playable. C.J. Collier moves over, makes the catch, fires into Blake Wilson, who cuts it off. Runners at first and third and 2 down in the top of the ninth inning. Mendez tagged and is now 90 feet away, and the Knights are an out away from winning it. The Black Bears are 90 feet away from tying it. Runners at first and third, 2 down, and Dylan Schlegel, the batter. Schlegel, one of those tough kids out of Dallas Baptist, redshirted this past spring for the Patriots. At the plate with 2 on and 2 out, trying to deliver a big hit and get this ball game even. Hoskinson delivers a breaking ball strike. The count 0-1. Dillon in the leadoff spot is grounded to third, struck out, grounded to short, and flied to right. Mendez, the tying run at third. Noah Malone at first, 2 down. The strike 1 pitch, breaking ball down from Hoskinson. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. Ty looking for the save here in the top of the 9th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 on, 2 out. 4-3 Knights in the 9th. Kai comes set. The right-hander back to the plate. Fastball, pop, foul, back of the plate and out of play. This one will carry to just below the McGrath family press box. More activity in the press box area tonight than I've seen throughout the previous home games this summer. 1-2 the count, and Knights fans getting into it a little bit here now without any sort of prompting. They're doing it on their own. Clapping their hands rhythmically, stomping their feet, trying to encourage Kai Hoskinson to the finish. First and third, 2 down, top of the 9th inning. 4-3 Knights. 1-2 to Dillon Schlegel. Hoskinson to the plate, breaking ball taken. Strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. The Knights survive and defeat Cowlitz in game 1, leaving 15 on, but Kai Hoskinson to the rescue. He gets the save, and the Knights win it 4-3. And we'll be back in a moment. I need to let them know over here before we wrap it up. And Evan, maybe you can inform them. Kai Hoskinson with the save is our Washington Park Advisors player of the game. Kai, can you get that information to Derek Buchheit or somebody that Kai Hoskinson with the save is the player of the game? Hoskinson! And I just yelled it out to Derek Buchheit. Sometimes that's the best method. And he does a great job to save it for the Knights. Kai Hoskinson with the save and a big strikeout. Hoskinson retiring the last 3 batters, 2 by strikeout, to become our Washington Park Advisors player of the game. And I hope to visit with Kai after the game tonight for our pregame show tomorrow. The Knights score 3 runs in the first inning. Quinn Dufort, a big 2-run single, also had a sacrifice bunt to lead to Thomas Ferragaro scoring in the 7th. Thomas himself had an RBI, Kason Consarini had an RBI single too. The Knights struggled to get the big blow that could have created separation. They left 15 men on base, but they received outstanding pitching along the way from starter Tyner Horn, from Caden Siegel. Gabe Hernandez had a little bit of a rougher go of it, but he's been really solid this summer. Grant Clevenger got 2 big strikeouts when he came on in the 8th. Wasn't quite able to finish it, but Kai Hoskinson does. And the Knights take game 1 of this 4-game series 4-3 to improve to 18-3 on the year. Cowlitz drops to 8-10. It's a doubleheader tomorrow. First game is at 5 o'clock. We'll be on the air with a live stream at 4:50. Second game will get started about 30 minutes following the completion of game 1. That's going to do it for tonight. For Evan Bach, Brian Thomas, Andrew Roderick, and Dale Hummel, this is Mike Parker from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Thanking you for joining us. An exciting win. The Knights 4 and the Cowlitz Black Bears 3. We'll see you for Napoleon Dynamite night tomorrow night and game 1 in the doubleheader getting underway at 5 o'clock. Right back here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights win it 4-3 over Cowlitz. See you tomorrow on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. So long, everybody.